That's fine.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay with it. Welcome
Yeah.
to your second time on They Came From the Underground, man. I'm happy to have you back.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, of course, man. Anytime. And you still got the gram going and everything. I see you doing backyard shows. Is that in your yard?
Yep, in
Yeah.
my yard at my house. Yeah, we've been doing it since June, I think was the first month we tried.
Right on,
And
man.
we've done it June, July, August. The next one's September 26th if you want to come.
Oh fuck yeah, man. I definitely like to come. That'd be
Okay.
great. Hell yeah, dude. Right on. What you been up to? What's like I haven't seen you back out on the scene either. So like besides the gram, what have you been writing much? You've been doing what you been doing to fill up your time besides work?
Yeah, I've been doing quite a bit of podcasting stuff with the Pandering Talk and doing
Oh,
what a
little Skippy.
pitch.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I've been doing that, and so recording podcasts, still writing jokes and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
doing other writing stuff. Just writing on random blog things or writing random articles to publish on my little website I have. That's not that exciting. It's just my names. But if you're
Right.
bored and want to read some ramblings, I have a few on there.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, plus you have plus you have that big. You always do power rankings, so you're always so those are
Yeah,
always
I
fun.
forget about that. I forget about that. But yeah, no, that's probably been most of my time is just coming up with power rankings from frozen pizza to
Right.
state highways to Mario Kart characters.
Yeah.
I've been hitting it all.
Yeah, you hit as many topics as you really can. It kind of seems like anything you're like I have a list of this many things in this topic that I can form some opinion on.
Yes.
So I'm going to put it out there in the public, create some buzz, get everyone talking.
I mean, for me, I don't know why I originally started, but I figure now it's just something entertaining that's not political or real. It's just something, and everyone, I mean, it's just time passer. It's not serious at all. It's not life or death, any of the power rankings.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
I think some people took the frozen pizza as
that one probably could have started some fires because Alex Carter already within the scene is a big voucher for Jack's Pizza.
Yeah, I know.
And you guys didn't exactly see eye to eye on on that one, and so I was waiting to see some quarantine break and just for some fist to fly.
Some quarantine beef.
Yeah, exactly. It's everyone's unsettled. It's like not a lot of people can handle anything too differing from their own opinion these days. They're all getting unsettled.
Yeah,
so
well,
it is,
Jack's Pizza is all right, but it's not as good as Tombstone. So I stand by it.
You know what's crazy is I've never had a Tombstone pizza. Like I know. I don't know why I've never had a Tombstone, but it's like I always hear people talk about it.
You can go find one very easily.
And that's what I've been told. That's the buzz. that's the word around town is that it's actually very easy to find, but I guess I just haven't been looking.
I was just in a Come and Go the other day, and there was a Tombstone in there, and I'm pretty sure any grocery store you go to, they'll have it in the frozen pizza section.
I could see that. Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. That's definitely the top one I'm on. Yeah, because I actually I had a brain fart there where I was gonna go after that. Besides that, what did you say Pandering Talk was about again? I always forget to check it out.
Oh, it's just it has a variety of things. It's not like one specific topic, but the main topics or main things that happens, there's usually an episode every couple weeks with me and my like best friend from high school. We usually talk about like right now it's NFL season, so we'll probably talk a lot about the NFL.
Right.
Besides that, we talk about movies and just like TV, like during the hard months of the pandemic. We would just compile lists. Mainly, my friend has way more time to watch TV than I do, but like we talk about all the TV shows he watched. And movies. So we talk about that. The other couple episodes I do, or a couple things I do on that channel is one day a week, usually Wednesdays. Sometimes it'll be Thursdays, depending on other episodes that come out.
Right
I
on.
released the Graham in an audio version on there. I don't know if it's good at all.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a place because it's a pretty visual show. And
Yeah,
I've had
no,
someone.
for sure.
I had a friend come up to me. He's like, "Yeah, I don't really listen to those," and I'm like, "I understand. Like, I'm not. That's the thing. The feed is meant to be kind of curated where you don't have to listen to every episode.
Right.
You can kind of pick the ones you like. So, one of the versions of the show I do is where I just talk about it. I call it a day in the life, and it's essentially just me, usually talking about something I did the last week. Like the episode that comes out, well, it'd be tomorrow, but probably before this episode that I'm currently on comes out, will be about like my recent vacation and the area I went to. I've talked about donating blood was another recent one. So all that stuff.
Yeah.
Another version I did. I started after I got laid off from my job. I started a podcast just about being out of work and what's entailed about that. And
there you go.
So I've been doing that, keeping busy.
No, for sure.
Yeah. So
you ever come up with power ranking ideas based on things that you cover in Pandering Talk or anything? That you start getting into a subject and you're like, you know what? Like the way this stacks up to the way Bachelor season 52 stacks.
Oh my God.
Bachelor season 1 Alone in Paradise. What the fuck
you know what I'm about.
Yeah, man. Because I remember that coming up. Yeah, man.
Oh, The Bachelor is coming up. No, I haven't talked about. Sometimes I've had power rankings. I've thought about it. I think one time I talked about it. I think it was the frozen pizza power ranking I talked about on my podcast.
I can see that.
Also, I went on someone else's podcast.
This spread out.
Fun.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, you got to spread the message. But at least you're open and willing to like try the other frozen pizzas and be like, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
To fight for a higher spot, you know.
I had never heard of Lots of Matzo before I did this power ranking. I had no idea it existed.
That's a pretty new one to me too.
Yeah, and Pasquale's, I think that's the right way you say
it. I want to say it's Pasquale's, like with the kind of in that range.
So you've had
I also could be wrong. Yes, I have had that. I eat the breakfast pizza a lot. The Pasquale's.
See, those two things I'd never heard of, and apparently, like according to most people on Facebook,
you say you never heard of breakfast pizza?
No, I've heard of I meant Pasquale's.
Oh, you just
I've heard of
I've
had breakfast pizza plenty of times.
I'm gonna say if you don't know about that, then there's probably just a slew of shit that you are clueless on. In reality,
no.
But
I'm a connoisseur of breakfast. Well, there's only like I didn't even know Pascal had breakfast pizza, honestly.
Really?
I was thinking about this the other day. I only thought Casey's and Come and Go were like the only places you could get breakfast pizza.
It is not as limited as you once believed.
Yeah.
Yes,
but breakfast pizza is fucking bomb.
Breakfast pizza is a shit. I mean, if it just being able to like wake up and be like eat pizza and be like, it's breakfast pizza. Like it's got breakfast stuff on it.
It's got scrambled eggs on it.
Yeah, it's got bacon, eggs, and sausage, and it's got everything. It's got pancake bits. No,
I will say I can only have one slice though of Casey's breakfast pizza because recently I had two and my stomach just fucking I was just like the whole day I was just like, oh my God, why did I do that to myself? Fuck. I just felt awful.
Wow, really?
The grease. I think it's the grease, man. I think I'm a little old. I think I'm a little older than you, dude. When you get older, fucking
how much older could you be?
I'm 28.
You're only at the end of the year I'm 25. You got like 3.5 years on me.
Well, get ready. It changes a lot, man. I used to be able to eat a lot better food or a lot worse food and get away with it. And I
believe it.
Simply cannot anymore.
I'm working on a bit. That's the crazy thing is like I'm working on a bit about the fact that I'm about to hit 25, and I'm like I keep thinking about it because that's the age where I've heard like, oh, that's when you stop developing, and so then it's like, and then you start to die slowly.
I think that is like the spot where your brain stops developing.
Yeah. Obviously not
times.
Right. Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I love to know that I'm only on the downswing.
Then you get to 26, and then you can rent a car. So like, life's golden after
God
that.
knows that's been a issue in my life countless times. If only I could rent a car.
Yeah, I know. That's fucking great.
That's great, man. Yeah, I've been kind of doing this bit in my sorry. I think people are home, so there may be you may hear banging in the back, or
that's okay.
Mild hum of an AC unit or some shit, but yeah, I've been like kind of formulating a bit just based on the idea of like, now that I've turned now, like once I turned 25 and have recently gotten a physical that like involved the doctor looking at my nuts, I was like, that's the first time for that.
Wait a minute, you've never gotten a physical before?
I've gotten physicals, but like, well,
they never looked at your nuts.
It's been pretty rare and spread out, and I think I don't think it was ever like, and it was never, I guess, in the doctor's office or whatever, and so they never had to like, I've never been asked to see anything in my area.
Wait, okay.
Nor shaft nor sack has anyone ever wanted to look at. Wait. And recently it happened just for the first time.
Wait, so you've had a physical, but not at a doctor's office?
It was at like I think it was when I started donating plasma. I think they do some kind of physical, they call it.
Okay.
And then or something. It was like, it was in the back alley with Reverend Joseph. He told me it was regular. It's like, my other friend had just come in and he said his went fine. And,
the only reason I'm confused is because I can tell you did not play sports that much growing up.
I did not.
Because if you play sports, you have to get a physical.
That makes sense.
In school, and you get your balls touched every fucking time. So like that's why it blew my mind, because I'm like, how have you not had one physical?
Oh man. Yeah, no.
Until you're 25. Like I got my balls groped not groped. I shouldn't say that. That was never physically sexually assaulted.
I was in sports, had to get physicals, and got my balls touched all the time. I am currently in a lawsuit, but that is beside the point.
That is beside the point. I'm in a lawsuit, but no. I don't know. I assume starting freshman year of high school, I got one every year. I haven't. And then, you just have to turn your head and cough. At least I hope that's the type of physical you got, and it wasn't maybe like even worse or something.
No, it wasn't just a little kind of move around and tap. It was I did reach completion. No.
I've got a question though.
What's
maybe this: are you more comfortable getting a physical from a man or a woman?
I feel if
they're gonna touch your balls. That's the physical I'm talking about.
I feel like I'm kind of I don't know which one I would be more comfortable with. Like I'll tell you I wasn't thrilled to pull down my pants in front of an older man. But at the same time,
I'm honestly more comfortable with a man checking my balls than a woman, just because like in my mind, I'm like, I know it won't happen, but I'm like, what if I just like pop a boner all of a sudden? Like, how embarrassing would that
be? Exactly. I totally get that.
like it's not gonna, but like it goes through the back of my mind. And also like,
and the more you think about it, it's like maybe I'll just get. It's like maybe you get like a nervous boner, and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying. It's just a lot of emotions.
Yeah, I don't know. So like. That's it. And I also like the doctor I went and saw. All right, I think I have had a physical by a woman, but she was like my neighbor, her neighbor, and so like it was just kind of weird. So
she was just babysitting me.
Babysitting. She just decided to perform a physical.
She told me that my parents said it was cool, so I was like, all right.
But yeah, it's like so. No, I'm more comfortable with if I get a physical, I'm more comfortable with the dude, but. As I say that, I'm thinking my current doctor right now is a woman. So, it's fine. Right. It's either way. I'm just a little more nervous under a woman. I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to pop a boner. It's going to feel weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I swear I'm not trying to.
Yeah. No, 100%. Because I think it's a little uncomfortable both ways.
Oh, for sure.
You're more comfortable with the man for that exact reason of like, you don't then get like the other thoughts going. Because like, admittedly in my brain, like as much as I like I know that it's completely inaccurate to think. It's just like I think it's like maybe I started watching porn too young or whatever the fuck it is, but it's just like you go in and then you're like, oh, the girl, let's come check it, and it's like I feel like that's the situation where it's like one of the young nurses. It's like one of the younger female doctors.
You think you're afraid if it's gonna be a woman, it's gonna turn into a porno, and you're just gonna have to have sex with the woman. That's what you're afraid of.
I'm not scared of that happening. It's just that it's weird having those thoughts happening in your head while trying to compose yourself normally.
So you're just like she's doing the check, and you're just like, you like?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Should be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it! This is the third time today.
There's a great bit. I feel like I name dropped too much, so I'll just put the bit out and just say it's not mine. But it is a great fucking comic, and he.
You could tell the name.
It's Neil Brennan.
Okay.
I was like, I feel like I get name droppy a lot, but it's just like, it's a true thing. It's just guys have this thing of whatever situation they're in, if it's like just them and a woman.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's not all guys. Okay. I'll just get that clear. But he has the joke is like men have this thought when they're like, say they're in that situation, or if it's like just them and like a female, like if it's just them and like a female doctor, if she's attractive, it's just a style like, here we go. And like, and like he
this
said,
is our dream.
He said he went over to Ellen DeGeneres' house, and like she came out and just like met him, and like they went in, and then it was like, but even the story he tells of going over to Ellen's, he goes, he even still then had a thought of her, like of like, here we go, even though she was wearing like flip flops and like board shorts and basically dressed like. Just like
and a lesbian,
summer, just basically, yeah. And even though she's, even though it was like so far from even a reality, it's just like this thing that some male brains have of just like that's where they go to.
Yeah,
but I think
it makes sense.
Yeah, so that's part of it. But
it's like we doing this right now, and the girl's like, "Fuck no, what the hell are you doing, you creep?"
Yeah, right, like I gave you no signals. Like,
I gave you no signals.
This is a medical. Just whatever to
examination.
Medical examination. This is official business. This has nothing implied to it. Like, all right, sure. You lingered a little bit. Like I could tell.
I could. You lingered 1 second.
Dude, yeah. Like, but the bit I've been kind of figuring out is like the fact that I've now recently had a physical that has required me to get my nuts looked at. I'm like, I am right around the fucking corner from a finger in the ass, aren't I? Like
that's right where my head went.
I'm much closer to it now than I was like in high school.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's.
I think it's like, isn't it like 40? I think it's 40. When you're 40.
So now
have to start getting them.
Yeah, I will be fine. And in November, I will start the slow decline into death. And I have to get a finger at my ass from a grown man while I'm bent over a table, and that will be untraveled territory.
Man,
free for flag setting, so hopefully you don't make a mark.
I agree. I'm not looking forward to that moment in my life either.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's not appealing.
No, a finger up the butt. I mean, some guys
it is.
think, all right, it is. That's the thing they need, but. Yeah, I'm not.
No, yeah. Well, see the way you look. I guess tells another story. That's that look in your eye. I can see some curiosity brewing.
No,
no, please.
No,
nobody
please.
try to.
No one
try to
put
do that
a finger up my butt.
I would very much appreciate it.
Don't get that poopy finger.
You played a lot of sports.
Yeah,
growing up. You said.
Yeah, growing up, I did. Okay, I'll preface this.
I played everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I went to a very small school, so it was like you just played everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like when you live in a big city where
you didn't try out for the team. You were just put on the team.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was okay. I was not like the worst person, but I definitely was not the best person.
Yeah.
No, I played football, basketball, track, and baseball. So all 4 sports. I mean,
those are the only 4 there are. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can play golf. or wrestling.
Fuck golf.
Or cross country.
Wrestling is gay. No.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was not a fan of wrestling, though. I will say.
No, yeah. Never been much of a sports guy, but
I played all those.
The idea of my balls getting touched.
That's the sole reason, right?
Yeah, no.
No, Mom,
I can't play basketball.
I don't want to play t-ball because I know when I'm 14, I'm gonna have to get my balls fucking checked.
Exactly.
It's not about that life, Mom.
I know. I got plenty of friends in the Boy Scouts that are telling me it's not a good move. What is that? Yeah, no, I just enjoyed playing sports because it was just a way to hang out with people and all that stuff, and it was always a fun time. And we were kind of good at most of them, so it's always good when you're like you can beat people and win. So true, right? Yeah,
makes sports more enjoyable.
Right, you get that little ego boost at the end of it, like we're the shit. Fuck with us. And then other people, and then a team of bigger kids comes in and kicks your ass, and you're like, you know what? I was just kidding before.
We're not as good.
I may have offended.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not that good. We're better than those guys.
We're better than those guys.
Yeah, exactly. The kids from the next school over.
But yeah, no, it was always fun.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Nothing. My best achievement was I got third team all district football. And I don't even think it existed. I've talked about this on stage before. But it didn't. I've like checked. I don't think it existed, and everyone else on my team got some other district first and second team. I think they just felt bad for me. Yeah, because this is at the football like meal after the season's over. Kind of everyone gets together.
So everyone's kind of
go over the awards, and they're handing out awards. Everyone on the team gets the awards, and then are like the old assistant coach is like, hey. The head coach is like, yeah, I think Dengler, you gotta get Dengler his thing. And then they said that, and I was like, I don't think this is fucking real.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
You guys, everyone else has got everything, so they felt bad for me.
Well, they had only enough awards for everyone but one.
Yeah,
an actual thing, so they just had to make up one that sounded like it fit in.
Yeah,
and they invented a district in order for you to get a participation.
Yeah, so certificate. It was not. It was kind of sucked, but
yeah,
it's okay. But I was the field goal unit holder, so
nice.
That was my claim to fame. It's fucking
right. Yeah, field goal unit holder.
Yes.
What's that?
I love this.
Field goal.
Do you
we
know
just got
football?
Done talking about nuts, and I recently heard unit referred to as that's another slang term for junk. So are you just out there like I'll hold back your nuts, you kick the ball?
Exactly. I'm holding back their nuts. They're kicking the ball. So basically, I don't know if you watch how much football you watch, but basically when they kick it,
I kind of watch the Super Bowl when it's on.
Kind of watch it. Okay. So basically, they score a touchdown, and then they kick the ball through the goalpost. I'm the guy who holds the ball for the kicker who is kicking the ball through the goalpost. Okay.
Very nice.
That's what my job was. It was pretty fun.
Field goal unit holder?
Unit holder. Because it's
I can see why they did. You know what? I can see why they didn't just call it a ball holder.
The ball holder. The field goal ball.
The field goal ball holder. So that's I'm sure that
I guess
you're having your hands in a guy's taint when he's trying to pass you the ball is enough little something every so often that they can't have too much going on.
Yeah.
That's gonna get a little
too much.
Yeah, exactly. God damn. I'm learning so much about football.
Yeah, do you want to learn about sports? This is just going to turn into me teaching you how sports work.
This is partially they came from the underground, partially pandering talk. It'll find it on both platforms.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, yeah, no, I was never much of a sports guy. Like I played, I played when I was really young. Like I kind of played every sport for like a season.
Yes,
and then was like, this ain't for me. Like I played. Well, I guess I might have played soccer twice and baseball twice, but I only did football once.
Yeah.
And, like I did baseball like 2 times and then, but it was like such a gap in between that I didn't really remember anything from the first time.
I know that's,
yeah. So the second time when I went in, I didn't have a voice in my head to tell me like, you remember how bad it went before? You know, so
yeah,
then,
it's sports are. Did you went to a larger school, didn't you? You didn't go to a small school,
for high
right?
school, yeah. I when I moved from Webster City to Ames when I was 11,
Okay.
and
So
yeah, so I
yeah,
went from like smaller to bigger.
yeah, it's. I feel like in bigger cities or like that, it's a lot harder to get away with playing multiple sports or not. If you're going to be good at sports, you have to just stick with like one or two
Yeah,
sports, like all the way through, which doesn't make. I think it's dumb because I think
yeah.
that hurts the kid in the way of like the kid is going to get burned out. Who knows? He plays
Oh yeah,
baseball his whole life or up until like high school. He burns himself out, and he has no other option because that's the only fucking sport he
I
plays.
know. Right?
And
Yeah,
so,
exactly. It is a
like,
crazy thought to think of someone doing one sport all the time and then
yeah,
like being like, oh, no, I started in like I started playing t-ball and now in the pee wee and like fucking little league and now you're in like high school like on your team and you're like really good because you've been doing your whole life, but now you got to try to turn that into college, and then it's like from
yeah.
college it becomes like a whole career, and then it's just like how many times can you play the same game
Yeah,
over and
I
over
mean,
and over?
it's just I think it's just a lot of like I'm a fan of if everyone plays a bunch of different
Where'd that
sports.
basketball come from?
I have it. I have a little small
Did you just
basketball.
manifest that?
Yeah, I just it comes when I talk about sports. Basketball's just appeared in my hands.
Nice.
But yeah, my thing is it's like I think playing a bunch of different sports is great. But to get ahead in like sports, if you want your kid to be good at sports, I guess at a big school, you
Yeah.
have to just like it's stupid, but you have to
Yeah,
like
it's
push
fucking
them
dumb.
into one sport.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's not the way it should be, but
No. Yeah, that's
it's
very
not
true.
great.
No, they should.
It's
No, I do agree with like mixing it up. Yeah,
yeah.
it seems like a better option
We don't
because
need to stick on sports though if you have no idea about them. I don't
no, I
want to
don't really
point you
know
down
either.
this
But
path.
no, I have my own experiences. So this is like a guy who didn't do sports talking to a guy who like
Yeah.
did because I did a lot of weightlifting for P. I like
Oh yeah,
in PE I just did weightlifting. It was like I don't want to run. Plus the other classes is kind of bullshit. It was like you run around and then just like toss frisbees, and so it was virtually a free period where you just had to be kind of moving. So then I did
yeah.
weight.
Just like prancing around, just throwing
Yeah,
frisbees. Like, lame.
yeah, it was like, oh yeah, it was awesome. It was all some fucking some fucking dandy bullshit. Um, but they're all got.
Wait, so how did I'm curious though, your gym class, so you could take like a specific type of physical activity for your gym class.
Yeah, they had
Is
like
that what you're saying?
two. Yeah, it was like they had like weird facets of it where if you were playing a sport, then you could kind of
Oh yes.
get out of it and like for sports stuff for that thing. But then like if you're like me, where you're like you got short legs, you ain't much of a
Yeah.
runner, a little
Mm-hmm.
stocky.
Yes.
You're the son of a dude who was a bodybuilder and an ex Golden Gloves fighter. It's like you got like I kind of had my lane.
Yeah,
For
you knew
physical
where you're
activity.
going.
Yeah, and so I just like so it was like you can be in weightlifting, you could be in
Yes.
like the bullshit run around, do 2 laps around half the gym, and then throw frisbees every day, or you could you could get weird exemptions from for sports.
Okay. Was
So,
that every day you had that, or
it was
every
like
other day?
it was like every other day or whatever.
Okay.
So it wasn't like every day of the week, but
But
also
that's
wouldn't let you, like,
all.
double
That's
up.
all you did. You didn't play. You just weightlifted
All
every
through
time for people.
yeah, all through high school. Yeah, I just did weights. So like uh, and so I had like and so like I never like I've always been a little chunky. And
Yeah.
so, but also like I got a little weight and I can be kind of light and like, but also like I can lift a lot of fucking weight, so I can handle myself. And
No,
like I did
I
like
get that.
I did boxing classes and stuff. I was more interested in
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a fighting sort of thing if I was like getting
That's
involved
fair.
and everything. But even then, I never watched sports. Like
Mm-hmm.
I watch UFC now. Like I love
Yes.
watching the main cards, and like the like the real fight nights and stuff and
Yeah.
all that. And but like even through school, I was just like. I just like kind of play. I think the only reason I played sports is because I was like, I'm a kid and this is what we do. And like my dad, like my parents love sports. My little brother was like really into sports, and so like my dad liked being and my dad loved being the dad who's like taking his son to a sport game.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
stuff. Like I was just like I was kind of doing what my dad wanted me to do, or maybe I was like maybe it just like made me feel good to have that kind of outside thing on it. But like even when I played football in like middle school for one season, like I did like 12 games or whatever, and even then I wasn't fucking watching football. I was barely paying attention. I was not good at it. Like I was like I didn't really care to be there. Like it was kind of cool, like putting on all the gear and like
then you're like, oh fuck, we gotta play.
yeah. But when it came to playing, it's the concept. Like I don't know who says this, but it was like a guy who's like, I wanted to be a boxer till I fought someone who really wanted to be a boxer, and so they kicked my ass. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not quite as into this as others.
No, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
There are some people who you meet them and you're like, oh, you care way more than I do at this. That's that's my thing with sports is it's like I have a weird thing when I'm playing. The only sport that I pretty much play now because I can't really play the others is basketball when I can.
Yeah.
But I have a weird thing. Like even if my team's winning, I start to feel bad for the other team that I'm beating them, which isn't like, true champions don't get that feeling, but I'm like, oh man, I kind of feel bad that they're gonna feel the pain of losing.
Before I get into the ring, I start thinking about my opponent. I feel bad for my opponent. I know I'm gonna beat my opponent.
But like, it's a weird thing that goes through my head, and it's kind of the same thing. I think it's anytime I do competitive, like when I play my wife in like a board game or something. Like I want to win, but at the same time I feel bad that she has to lose or something.
Dude, I totally fucking feel you, man, cuz it feels good winning, but it's at the same time it's like all this fear that like you're going to make the other one person sad and
it's like I don't want to feel bad.
like I don't want them to be mad at me after. Like are they going to be upset if I get too showboaty like and it's like, and then it's just like, I do that happens to me all the time with like video games. Like recently, I was playing Super Mario Kart with my girlfriend. And
what on what system?
The latest one on Nintendo Switch.
Okay, I've not played. That's like the one I haven't played.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, if you don't have a Switch, that also doesn't help. But
that's the exact reason why.
We figured it out.
I haven't played on anyone else's Switch, I guess. So.
Yeah, true, huh? Well, hey,
what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh no, it's no big deal. It was literally the same thing of like what you were saying of like you want to win and you kind of try to win, but like I've gotten like I played Super Mario Kart on my phone a lot when it came out, and so I was like playing that during all my downtime at work, and then eventually I got my Switch and then it had it on there and I was like, I guess there's no real reason to kind of have this on here because every time I feel like playing Mario Kart I just go into the Switch. And then I already had an idea for like I had a concept of like how to drift and shit because like it had been years since I'd really played since. And so I've like figured out how to kind of play and it's transferred over pretty decently for the most part to the Switch, playing it on there. And so when I was playing her, I literally let myself crash and like fuck up all the time because I'm just like, this way at least she feels like we're competing. Because it does get to a point sometimes where we're at some maps or where like I just cannot get a hang of a map, and then we're pretty even then. But
then you're even.
Yeah, but on like majority of the games, it ends up being that like I am in first for most of it, and then she'll be in like eighth. And so I'll like let myself crash a bunch and like just like fall off the map, and that way she can catch up, and then we're kind of like even laps and whatever. And it's like I shouldn't be doing it because it's not like I'm her dad. I'm like feel bad. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna let you win, but I'm not gonna tell you. And it's like because that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh no, I agree. I will say when my wife actually has played Mario Kart, and so we're fairly competitive. I would say I probably win more times than her, but it's not like this situation where she has like no concept of how the game works type of and so like it is like that, but she gets frustrated a lot easier, so then I have to let up. Or like we used to play, and she used to play NBA 2K with me. And I straight up had to just like blow the game.
Right.
And like she didn't realize I was doing like I would intentionally take bad shots that don't, for her, she thinks they're fine. Like I'm taking regular shots. But like I know these shots are not going to go in the way of shooting them. And like she like beat me one time. She beat me one time because usually I always like I would keep it
Right.
close, and then I'd be able to pull it out.
If you don't let them win, sometimes it gets suspicious.
Yeah. But no, I the one time that she beat me, I whatever reason, I just couldn't beat her. Like I choked my way through, you know, and then I tried coming back, and it just didn't work for some reason. Yeah. And then she like thinks like she legitimately beat me that time, but I'm like, I can't bring it. But I'm like, no, like I seriously. Like, if I actually wanted to try, I would crush you every time. Yeah, but you wouldn't play then.
Dude, oh my God. There is so much truth to the different scenarios of, like, playing against somebody in something where you really have to, like, kind of navigate it because, like, if you're really good at something and it's someone you care about and they're just trying to share it with you, it all depends on how they react. Like, they cannot care about winning at all, or it will be a problem. It's maybe it's just my own anxiety of just being like, okay, if I beat them and then they start feeling bad that they're getting frustrated that they can't win, because I've felt that where I'm like, I can't get any headway in a game and I'm like getting my ass kicked, so I get frustrated and I'm like, I don't want her to like then take that out on me, and then I don't want it to turn into something bigger of just like, God, like you always have to be in the lead. It's like I was when it's like if I'm, because you can't just be like, well, I'm just better at it. Because then it's like, because then they're like, oh, you're so fucking, you're bragging now, like you got a big ego, and then those are likely the same kind of people where if you let them win once, they won't let you live it down. Yeah. So because like they'll always make fun of you and they'll always give you shit, and then you can never just be like, yeah, I let you win, because then because then you have to play them again and like kick their ass, and they'll be like, no, you didn't. We're just like, I just won that one. Who cares? And it's like, you care clearly. And so now I have to play you again and like go and like dominate it just to prove a point, and then you can't even do that because then you're an asshole.
I know.
Then you prove that you let
hard life to live.
Yeah. So luckily I don't have that issue with my girlfriend.
Well, yeah. See, my wife, she's more competitive in the sense of she doesn't have the part. I don't think she has the part where she feels bad for the other person if they're losing, where I do. Right. So she doesn't understand like that part of it. Like she
more centric.
She just wants to win. Her whole family is like weirdly too competitive for things. Yeah. And so like her sister can be very competitive about things. Not nightmare, but like weirdly where she'll keep wanting, if she loses, she like wants to play it till you lose, till she beats.
Right. You. Yeah. Like she's just like, no, fucking another game.
Another game. You're
not getting out of this that easy, boy.
But no, it's not. It's not terrible, but they're more competitive than what the family I grew up in. Like my family is competitive, but like really my brother's the most competitive, and then my sister straight up really doesn't care. And then like mom and dad they weren't big sports people, so they don't care nearly as much.
Yeah, that's good. That's always good. Yeah, that's definitely a rough environment to grow up in, and then not come out being like fucking like feeling like a loser, because when people are too competitive, especially if they win too much,
oh my God,
are so braggy, and then are so likely to look down on people who don't have the same accomplishments or as many accomplishments. So that really creates a fucking loser mentality and depression.
I have a friend from high school. I don't know, he's probably maybe still like this, but he like, oh my God, he had to win at every fucking thing, and it was so fucking annoying every time we'd play things. Like, we'd play Mario Kart or any sports games, and like, oh my God, it would be like, he always had to win, and he'd be so upset if he didn't win. And like, man, chill pill, bro.
But whatever.
We're still friends with him. He's a great guy, but like way too competitive for my state.
There are people I had. I think especially if you have enough friends, you have that friend. Because there is like a whole mentality of that, because there are people that there are totally people I get along fine with if certain topics don't come up, and that's kind of just one of them, like a competition factor. Like, I met a dude, like, we couldn't talk about politics because it was just like, I could never tell if he was playing devil's advocate or if he like genuinely believed what he said. So I didn't know where to go. And so it just got frustrating because I had to like somehow present. I either had to give in, or I had to like find a weird workaround like where I could make it come back around to make sense or something, and it was just like so hard to talk to him. I got another friend that's like, the second we started talking about police or something, it got all crazy. But but at the same time, it can really be my mood.
I understand. Yeah,
like sometimes I can get real preachy sometimes. Like I love debating it, so I get a little righteous. Where I'm,
you are a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
So that's
natural lead.
All of us are kind of like that, where you naturally think your opinion is somehow much more important, or
right. Like I got the right. I look at it the right way.
Yes.
As opposed to all of you.
All of you who clearly are all wrong.
Everyone out here in front of me. Let me enlighten you guys.
Yeah.
So let me red pill you here quick. Yeah. Because I got the answers. I've been doing this for 1 whole year now. I got it figured out. Yeah, man, that's very true. But yeah, that's just kind of that's probably ultimately what leads me into comedy is. But also I love stories, and I always love the I just love those moments, because it's like real connection of like words when you just like telling stories and that sort of thing, or like someone gets it, or you get all into something and then you get that fucking twist at the end where it just like throws you for a loop. It's like the same thing of people watching movies. You just kind of in that story, but you're like actually connecting with people.
Yeah, it's cooler because you're in front of people in a present moment. It's not like a movie where they're just telling you what's happening. You are there telling people, but they are reacting to you, and you are reacting to them.
And you can play off that, and then
and you can play off that. That's the beauty of why stand-up's so fun to do, is that it's scary, because it's
it's terrifying.
Live performance, and you're saying shit you don't know if it's gonna work, and you hope to God it works, and if it doesn't, then you're just like, cool.
Yeah, well, guess that's it. That is what it was, and we'll have to go from there. That's
I guess I guess honestly I was gonna say I don't miss that feeling, but I kind of miss that feeling still. It's been six months for me since I've last. Well, I should take that back. I have done stand-up when we've done the Graham at the end, and this wasn't original to when we're doing these outside shows.
Yeah.
Like we got done doing it, and like we usually have had less contestants than the normal 5. I think this next month we have 5, just because like I forgot I was gonna ask someone, and then so we had 4, and then I was like, shit, I need to ask him. So we have 5. But like the first time we did it, like we got done with the show. We only had like 2 contestants. I think somebody dropped out on us last second, so we only had 2. And it was like maybe an hour. It wasn't that long.
Yeah.
And then like someone in the audience was like, "Hey, are you guys gonna do your stand-up bits?" And it was like, "Sure." And then that's the only time. And now every show since then, we end the show after that. The Graham is over, then everyone just takes a turn doing 5 minutes, basically.
That's pretty dope. I like that. Hell yeah, man. That's something. So, like what fucking hey, you know what? That's just a bigger show too, where it's got variety and things going on. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, that's just more bang for the buck, man. And it's fun. And it's fun. Yeah. Like going to I think that the improv stand-up shows that they do at Teehees are awesome. Mm-hmm. Like I've only been to one. I only went to one. It was a Vikram Balaji, and it was for my first day. It was my first time seeing him or hearing his comedy, and like the improv show was fun. Like me and my girl got involved, and then there was the fucking, and then Vikram went up after, and he killed. And it was just a lot of fun, because it's like, as long as because I mean obviously a lot of there are plenty of people, Sam Hershock for one, who really don't like really don't like improv.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. I don't. Hershock's playing it up a little bit.
I kind of feel like it's definitely turned into kind of like a long running bit.
It's like there's probably some truth, but I don't think he is so anti it. He also is dating an improviser.
Exactly.
So, like you clearly don't hate it enough.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, I like you. I don't agree with any of this shit you're doing.
I don't agree with your beliefs. But I like you.
Yeah. I like your vibes.
Yeah.
You're off stage.
When you're off stage. Not performing that goddamn improv.
God, Java Joe's reeks with that fucking performance now. and now beer after Ian's. Yeah, dude. No, I fucking. But yeah, I mean, like a show that's got multiple things in it that kind of go together is always good. Like, there's a reason. Like stand up and music are so similar. This is like a fun thing that people. It's like a big hot topic between people now, is they kind of like fully realize what it means, because I've talked about it a few times myself. Like, musicians want to be comedians want to be musicians. Like, obviously it's not always true, but it's just like but it's because we're all doing the same thing. There's rhythm, there's timing, there's, there's engagement, and people are following along. I mean, you're watching, you're giving a performance, like prepared material, things you wrote,
Yeah.
and then there's just a lot of similarities, and like, but then the only difference is just metaphors, like if like how you tell the story. And so excuse me. And yeah, but it's just so even when you guys have like a musical performance, and like there's been plenty of comedians who have opened for bands on the road, like Big J Okerson went on tour with Korn. Jim Brewer. You don't like Korn?
No. I'm good.
Hey, you don't have to like them. It's just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
But they so then they did that, and then Jim Brewer opened for fucking Metallica. Like, it was like, yeah, there's been like giant tours where a comedian was the opener.
So what I gotta ask, what band would you open for? Like, would you love to open for as a comedian?
If I have, okay, so I'm staring at two Funko Pops. I shouldn't say staring, but glancing at two Funko Pops that I've recently bought of Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. One is Black Parade, one is Dan. You know what? Fuck it.
That does not surprise me. You're a My Chemical Romance.
Nice. My Chemical Romance was my favorite band in my emo days.
Oh man,
they're still a fucking amazing band. Like, even when I like moved out of it, but like I went from, I kind of moved phases, but I was always punk rock and metal in high school, like middle school and high school, and so.
Can I tell you?
What's up?
Can I tell you about the best Spotify playlist I found recently?
Yeah.
The pop punk powerhouses. It
pop
fucking
punk
takes
powerhouses.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. It's
yeah, dude.
All the fucking emo songs that I remember. And I wasn't like huge emo by any means, but like,
yeah,
these are all the songs. If I knew somebody who was emo, these were their jams, which I'm down with them. I've been like playing this playlist quite often recently.
The first song is My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. And that's a fucking given. But yeah, oh god, yeah, it's fucking. There's always a few that I don't recognize, because like I didn't listen to like Taking Back Sunday and like.
Yeah, I don't know some of them.
Jimmy Eat World, but
Fallout
legitimately
Boy.
Most of these songs. Scotty doesn't know I love Stray. Yeah, dude, legitimately most of these are fucking songs that I was rocking out to frequently.
Oh, they're good. They're good songs.
Oh yeah, that's a great fucking that's a great playlist. Yeah.
I've had a weird kind of a weird pandemic in the terms of my music listening.
Yeah. No, you froze. Sean, come back. Don't go, Sean. Sean. Oh man. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Not back yet.
Oh, you're back?
Hello.
Hello. You're back. Hello.
God damn it. I don't have to do this again, do I?
What did you turn video on?
Yeah, I was having issues with it working beforehand.
Oh.
And now I fucking.
I mean, I'm not. If you can't get it working, it's not a big deal to me. I've done plenty of podcasts where I don't see the person. I do the one I do with my friend. I just call him on his phone and I just do it over the phone.
That's a way I wish I could do it more often, honestly.
Well, I have I don't know what you have. I have a mixer, and then I have a thing that can take it from the phone to the
nice.
mixer.
Yeah, I got a big PreSonus interface.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, you could probably pull it off if you got the right stuff.
Yeah, I got to look into doing it. I am my own I'm my own fucking God, I can't think of the word. I'm my own technician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you need me? Are you going to figure out this video or are we just going? Because I could start talking about Chris Stapleton again.
Keep going. Yeah, let's just keep going where we were. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get this working, but if not, I'm not going to fuck with it.
Okay. So, yeah, no, my pandemic's been wonky in the way of my music listening. I started out with Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
You know who Chris Stapleton is? Like a country western.
Oh, no.
He's new country. He's like newer. Like it last, but he sings. His country isn't like bro party on a boat country. Like the country music I don't like. He's more like old western country or country western, I should say.
I can get that.
And so I enjoy his music. So I was listening to him, and then I moved into. I've always dabbled in rap. I love rap. I also love really dumb rap. So
yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of DaBaby.
I've heard of DaBaby, yeah.
I've been listening. I listened to a lot of DaBaby. And just great. And then I moved on to one of my favorite songs. Makes me feel old though. Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi.
That's a hard song not to get into.
It's great. And so what I would do, I'd go on Spotify and just click play on that song.
Yeah.
And then it would just play a bunch of songs that were like similar to that song or whatever. Just great time. I did that multiple times. And then recently I got into the pop punk powerhouses playlist.
Hell yeah. Right on, man. Hell yeah.
That's been my progression throughout the pandemic of my music listening.
Oh, hell yeah, man. No, actually, it's funny you bring up DaBaby because I the first time I had actually heard of DaBaby was on Saturday Night Live. He was the musical guest.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that one.
Yeah, it was it was early on. And I think early in the pandemic. Or it might have been right before. I don't know. It was in the early this year, I believe.
Yes.
But I know he's on, and it was just like he had fucking. I didn't really like how they dressed him because the fashion is getting weird, and so they literally had him in like he looked kind of he's like a strong dude, you can tell. He's got muscle and whatever, and like that's all well and good, and he's wearing like a basically a tight bright red turtleneck. Then he had a black bandana rolled to the exact width of the turtleneck collar, wrapped around it, and then tied. And then he's got his big fucking chain on that said something. And I was like, I don't even know who that is that's on the chain. It didn't say DaBaby or anything. And then he's just got like fucking like jeans on. They're like pulled all. He's just like properly dressed. If he just taken off the chain and the bandana, like he could have been going to book club. Like it was, like he was ready for both. And then like the day it was super funny because it was like it becomes this like weird thing where it almost feels like when you're familiar with stereotypes as I am, like they rush to your head pretty quickly if you see them. Okay. And so like, or even if it's like not what it is, but like you can still make the connection knowing how people work. You're like, they're gonna misconstrue this, but it was just funny because they had this because like he's so big, it's like he does these like moves where he like kind of drops his shoulders a lot, and he's like, it's a lot of moves you'd see dudes who are real fucking strong, but also like rappers do, and then it's like a lot of like his arms up like this and like kind of moving. Like whatever, and so it's like it all seems very like kind of like gorilla like, where he's like bah, because like gorilla, because I mean similar to bears and lions, like a gorilla is like a fucking monster to be reckoned with as far as like strength and everything goes, especially. And so it was just like this funny thing where I see that, and it was kind of catchy. It was a cool way he was doing things, but then you see it and you're like, I feel like I can't tell people that it was gorilla-ish without them feeling like I'm being racist.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I would say it's kind of racist to think that, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Is
I mean, it
that
could have been a white
the
dude moving around like that, but it was all the muscles and the movements. It just
no,
seemed.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but yeah, it's a hard thing to really like bring
Yeah.
up because it's like, yeah, the undertones there are not
Yeah.
great.
It's like I get it's more entertaining to be like, oh, he's being racist over here. You're calling him a gorilla. Like, no, I didn't call him a gorilla. I said his dance moves look similar to that of like a gorilla who learned how to be a normal person and is now like on SNL. And
That's you took a lot out. I have watched many musical performances on that show.
Oh, Kanye West.
I have never once thought that deeply about one.
It just can't kind of rang on me. Kanye West when he was on, and that was the most insane musical guest to have on, for everything he did during one of his first performance. Him and whoever the fuck it was were dressed up as big bottles of water, and then they were doing the song like "You're such a fucking hoe, I love it." Like, and they were dressed as bottles of water, and he's dressed as Perrier, and he's doing like weird dance moves that like make the bottle move in a weird way, and. Then on the second one, it's just like him and this chick who I also didn't know, and she was wearing like it was like one of those long sleeve like crop tops where it's like just tight and it's just over her boobs and it's like around it, but it's got sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she also didn't have anything under it, so like you could pretty easily see her nipples.
Yeah.
And then that was the second performance, and then the third performance was he closed out the show, which is not how a Saturday Night Live is structured.
Yeah, not normal.
He took it over for himself, so that way him and like another rapper could or whoever the fuck could throw on MAGA hats, and then like close out the show. And then the cameras were, and everyone was brought on stage, and then it was cut off, and like you didn't see it, but when he finished the song, he took the time to like take this audience that was like cornered, then like talk to them about Donald Trump and like preach to them like why they should vote for him and like all this other shit. And then there's literally video of Pete Davidson like hiding his face and then like ducking away before he was Kanye was done. Like, I don't want to be on stage for this shit, man. This is gonna get blown up. So then he talked about it like the next week or whatever on SNL and like Weekend Update. And, like, you see in this video evidence, like I'm clearly walking off because I do not want to be associated with it. I gotta go hang out with Kid Cudi. And and whatever, and so so it was like this whole thing. But man, like SNL is occasionally you have some real unique artists come on.
Yeah, there's been some different performances. Kanye is definitely one of the ones that I know. One of the more controversial ones was way before our time. I think it's Sinead O'Connor ripped up a picture of the Pope.
Dude, I did hear about that. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
That's like the more famous controversial one that's happened.
Yeah, and at the time
I didn't know that was like a bad thing. Like, I'd be curious, like, if we went back to that time, how bad it really was, or if it's just something that's,
because like obviously it was part of like a grander point.
Yeah,
it wasn't like she was going to be like anarchy. Like, it was Sinead O'Connor, who was Irish as shit. Sinead,
I did not know the name.
Sinead O'Connor, and she's Irish as fuck. And then is just like a big activist and like whatever. And so she wasn't like tearing up a picture of the Pope to be like anarchy, fucking atheism, rock and roll. It was just more. It was like it was part of a grander point. I don't remember. I don't know much about it, but. It was involved in something in more of like a grander scheme of like the Pope is not doing something that he could be to be helping, or like he did something bad. It was pretty pointed at something actually happening. That is freaking
Pope.
Yeah, but the freaking Pope.
Hey, I'm the freaking Pope. The freaking Pope.
When was the last time you took an order from the Pope? Who is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy? Who's the Pope? You're the Pope. I'm not the Pope. Look at me, I'm the Pope. I got my Pope mobile.
Always walking around in that funny hat.
I want to get in the Pope mobile real quick. I gotta go. I gotta go do the Pope thing.
Hey, man, you see the Pope? Is that the Pope mobile?
That's a Pope mobile, motherfucker. Pope is on the loose.
Hey, man, don't park that here. You can get your tires stolen.
Oh, no way. Mr. Pope is going. Okay. I should preface all that's supposed to be an Italian accent. So if it's not, I'm sorry. That was real bad.
It's okay. It was loud and kind of obnoxious, and
yeah,
kind of sounded like you were doing this off to the side, and
I don't know what the fuck that meant.
Like the Pope.
Oh,
or maybe it's a whole hand. Do they do the whole hand? Like they got all the fingers together? It was the matter you.
Okay,
Motherfucker.
that hand motion. I thought. I know some people think
it wasn't
the
okay
sign is like an alt-right thing. So I was like, I'm not making an alt-right thing.
Dude, you want to know the story about that?
Sure.
About this? All this means is okay, because O and K. That's all it means. The whole reason this has started to look like it has been seen as a hate symbol for some recently is because provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos, who is a gay Jew married to a black man, but yet still people find a way to be like, he's a Nazi. It's like, I feel like they've discredited. I feel like they wouldn't take him, just based on that. I feel like his beliefs are hardly the issue with him, with the Nazis accepting him in. But he's also provocative. But I've seen him on enough shit where I'm like, oh, he's just like a fucking troll. Like and so it's like easy to see why he gets under people's skin because he's hardcore about it. And but he literally, I think like posed with the president, or he's at the White House, or he was posing with someone in power that he knew the picture would get some buzz, especially at least with his following, and then they would spread it out. But he like posed, and then he went like and then like said that, and then he himself made the story that it meant white power. And so because CNN is kind of gullible and doesn't do a lot of research, it turns out, he's the one who told CNN that story, and they just ran with it. They made it a whole thing, and so then as soon as the word started getting put out there, now everyone sees it as a hate crime, as a hate symbol, even though it's never been used that way.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know the origin of that.
Yeah, which is super funny to think that he himself created it, and then people just but it was at the time especially, it was just it would have been such a juicy story to be like, oh, it's being co-opted for white supremacy, so like look out, like there's another way to find it, that it just like it took a life of its own. So but
wow,
just one of those things, man. Sometimes people don't need proof, but
no, that's the that's the unfortunate part of our media culture right now. Is it's a lot easier to tell one thing and then not have the whole truth to it, and now go around. And then when people actually give the truth,
exactly,
then no one sees that part. So unfortunately, and unfortunately, our media is all for profit, so they're there to get the most clicks and the most money.
A lot of times
it leads to some issues sometimes. I'm not saying all media is bad. I'm just saying there is a problem with how it works. Times I have a big problem with people who are just like, oh, the media, they're out to get you. The media, they don't know. Like most of them do a pretty good job, but there are inherent issues with what some of them do. Most of them, actually.
Things have gotten corrupted. Things have just gotten corrupted, and sometimes on pretty mass scales.
So you just have to look at the individual reporters and just find the reporters that you trust and you think aren't trying to fuck you over or whatever.
And it's oftentimes the headline's not going to be totally accurate to what the article is really about.
That's just clickbait. That's just fucking the internet.
Things have gotten extremely clickbaity, so it's I can see why people have because a lot of people like to go off headlines, like they don't read the article. They don't read.
I know
the
that's
article,
the problem. You gotta read the article.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're gonna say because there's been a fucking countless number of times where I've looked at a headline and been like, wow, that's insane. Then I read it, I'm like, you know what? This actually makes a lot of sense, and the headline was very misleading. And
very misleading.
So I mean, fucking like anyone out there being like hearing me give the the okay symbol explanation of how that's just a made up thing, like you don't have to believe me, but genuinely, if you just do the research, as with anything, you'll figure it out. Like it's just because I mean, I could have easily done the research and found out that it was being co-opted by white supremacists, but that just wasn't the case. Like it's just like even people reporting on it are just using like pictures of like teen white kids who are using it or whatever. Just like, it's because they saw it on the internet And they don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
and they thought it would be funny. Like most of the time, some high school kid isn't like
That's always the problem with
rocking
high school
swastikas,
kids.
you know? Yeah,
They think it's funny, and it's like, nah, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you are signing it. Yeah, you're breaking off way too big a bite here. Like it's just it's too much, man.
You're definitely not edgy, kid. You are just a fucking moron that doesn't know anything.
Yeah, fucking edgy, man. Oh, dude, that's like it's like the kind of people who like start comedy and then like want to and then or like have just start and be like, I just want to get to the point where I can talk about my day. Like, what? You're not living that kind of life. It's like it's seen like that's like your perception. Like it's like just because you think that you have that going and that no one's gonna like take it. Like, I mean, it's not really the same concept. It's just like a matter of like having a misconception of things and being like, I'm doing it for this. Like, who cares? Like, it's like, well, no, like you're kind of up there selling yourself, and like especially in the online day and age, it's like whatever idea you put out there, it's like someone is going to take it seriously, and then like. And people get really annoyed, by someone who just cannot get with the picture. Like someone who's just like, I just do it because it's funny. It's like, it's not that funny if it caused a whole news cycle to then convince everyone that like something is racist. Like it's not that funny anymore. And then like, it's kind of funny. Let's be honest. Like human stupidity can be kind of fucking funny. But then And then like when someone goes is like, I just want to be able to go up and talk about my day. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in your life on a day-to-day basis that you think you're just gonna live your day, go up on stage, tell everyone what happened? It's gonna be the funniest shit they have ever heard. It's not fucking likely.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like you have like you just have this it's just like a self-centered idea.
Yeah.
Like you're not thinking about how it's being perceived. You're just thinking about your intention behind it.
Yeah.
Like if I give you the ending to a story that's like crazy, then like you're definitely it's like when people tell you the end of a movie, like in my head, I'm still like, I still want to know how they got there. It's about the journey, you know. So it's not about the it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Even Rocky lost in the first fucking movie, you know. It's like no everyone one saw that coming, but that was a real twist.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Dominic Toretto never loses, but I still want to fucking watch him.
Yeah, exactly.
Beat the shit out of people. Drive fast cars.
Yeah, exactly. You watching like the possibility that he's gonna lose someday. Yeah. Like it's the more they fight, you know.
Like I know The Bachelor, you know, they're not gonna end up with whoever they're gonna get, but I still want to see their journey for love. That's not going to happen. I'm still in on it, man.
It's always the same shit with those shows too.
I don't know if you know this. You don't, I would guarantee. But one of the recent Bachelors, the big thing on his season was there was a fence jump moment. They build up to the fucking moment the whole fucking season.
I did actually see that scene. I did kind of follow because of like and stuff.
Because it literally like the whole season, every promo for the season at the end of each episode, they're like, this is the fence jump. And usually when they do this, it never amounts to anything. And you're like, like it happens. You're like, that was a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, but I could totally see that.
But this time, that fence jump was a goddamn beautiful fence jump.
Yeah,
and it was amazing. And then he like went psycho. But this is the kicker, though. Like at the time, you're like, oh man, he was really in love with this girl.
Yeah.
So fast forward to this year, they broke up in like sometime during the pandemic. I think it was May or June.
Yeah.
And now the lady who broke up with him, who he was still with, you know, fence jumped for her.
Yeah.
She filed a restraining order against him because he's a fucking psycho. And so this fence jump just means he's a fucking psycho.
Oh my God, wait, I did hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was hearing about. Yeah, dude. Okay, God. Yeah, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Because he really
I don't know how that related to what we're talking about.
No, I totally get it. No, it's just like, it's just like you create a perception was created around something that was not at all what they built, what they had made it out to be. So it was, you
thought it was for love, and it's just like, no, he's a fucking crazy person.
Even he was crazy. It's like, dude, 100%. Like those fucking, like I remember being a teen, watching like hanging out with my older brother before he started taking real big gaps in us seeing him for other reasons.
Okay.
That was drugs, but he, but he's better now. We think anyway. We would watch like VH1 and and we would watch like fucking The Rock of Love and like we watch like the Flavor of Love and then like whatever like all
Bret
those like,
Michaels, baby.
Yeah,
Dude. Did you watch A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila?
Yes, I did. Oh my god, man, that was
she was like the
that
first.
was the worst.
I don't know, the first bisexual one, I assume, because it was so long ago.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She was. That's right. She did. Yeah, she was the bisexual one, and that was like after all the shows that kind of happened. Everyone was like, "Whoa, crazy, men and women." But it's like also like, but it is Tila Tequila. Like, who the fuck is this?
I'm gonna look her up. I have not looked her up in so long because I don't remember what she looks like.
I remember she was pretty hot, but like at the same time, I never knew what she did. I was like, I guess she's a model.
They have like, I don't know if this is her.
She has some sex tapes or something. Like some
I don't know. This is what she looked like, I think, to us at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently, there's like this. I don't know if this is what she looks like now, but this is what it looks like when I looked at her now. Like, she straight up doesn't look similar. I saw it first, I was like, what is going on?
Oh my god, if that's her, that would blow my mind.
But like, she had some issues though, because she expressed her. This is on her Wikipedia page. Yeah. After expressing her support of Adolf Hitler and making anti-Semitic and white nationalist comments, she was expelled from Celebrity Big Brother. So that's what she's got going on in her life. Oh, there's a whole fucking section devoted to Nazi views. Her Nazi views on Wikipedia.
Oh my god, isn't she like Asian too? Yeah, she looks like it. If not, like I fucking like that's like another thing. Because to the eye, I was like, you're not even white. And then, like the Republican National Convention, she was doing a fucking the Nazi arm salute.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's not good. She is
She is not.
And I'm not a big fan of Ben Shapiro by any means. She tweeted that Jewish American political commentator Ben Shapiro should be gassed and sent back to Israel.
Wow.
So, whoa.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
He's taking a real specific fucking approach to staying on this, to staying relevant. Like,
look at this is another thing. You know what will help Asians earn respect? An Asian version of Adolf Hitler. Like, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
Do you know how much street credit white people have lost because of that motherfucker?
Yeah.
We cannot.
Oh my.
We can almost not be cool.
This is also great. On November 22nd, 2016, her account was suspended by Twitter. Consequently, she joined Gab, which is like the alt-right social media platform.
There's an alt-right social media platform called Gab?
Yeah, you never heard of it?
No.
It's basically any of them that have been suspended from Twitter if you want to, express your very alt-right views. White nationalist views.
Gab sounds like something
you go to Gab.
Would have called it.
It kind of does, yeah. So that was weird. Who knew we'd talk about Tila Tequila and her Nazi views?
Dude, no fucking shit. Oh god, I haven't thought about that in forever. The only time she ever comes up is for doing something racist or something slutty. So it's just like she's really found her lanes, I guess. I don't know. That's so sad.
Yeah, it is. It sucks that you fall that far.
I remember watching those fucking shows and like kind of getting into it and just being like seeing all these insane people. I think Flavor of Love and I Love New York were the most insane ones by far, just because Flava Flav is just off the fucking is just off his rocker altogether and has been for quite a while. And like ever since before that even. And then New York was just like an insane, like do anything to be on TV kind of chick. You could tell it was just like was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
They like hit it off and then so they were like, yeah, we can spin this off because she's insane and not that pretty, but she fucking thinks she's rocking it. So we can turn this.
Wait, who is this again? Sorry, I think
her name was New York. But it was Yeah.
I just had this discussion with my wife recently where I was like, her name was New York?
Yeah.
Like, I was so fucking confused. I was like, oh, I just thought it was like I thought it was just a show based on New York City or something.
Right. No, yeah, that was the confusing part is they called it I Love New York. So that's also because it was like all a big play because like that's where that whole like I Heart whatever originated.
Yeah, where it happened.
I Heart NY on a shirt. But then they were like, well, this chick calls herself New York, so we actually have the ability to do this spinoff and we can call it I Love New York. It's about her finding love in New York. Her name's New York. There's T-shirts everywhere that say I Love Heart New York, and so it's like free advertising. I don't know, but it's just like they just found all these. Yeah, they found all these little connections that were like this is a show, and like it obviously didn't last too long. Like they they did 1-2 seasons, whatever, and then it was done. Like it was just like basically that kind of shit was Jersey Shore shit before Jersey Shore. Or it was just like that was the prime, and then you start getting the Real World, and it just evolves into people who will do anything to be on TV. They're all fucking young. They're all fucking each other, living in one house, all fighting.
Oh, yeah. No, so like, Real World was like the first one. And
was it?
Real World like started in the 90s. Like that was like the first reality show.
Because I know like,
but like when it got trash reality, where it got fucking wild. I don't know. I didn't have cable, so I don't know much of it.
I came in everything late, like I didn't know what any of the concepts of anything was, so I thought everything was, so I genuinely thought in my young, maybe like preteen era when I started coming in, like learning about all the shit, learning about MTV, I just started thinking that this was all new stuff coming in, so I know like some stuff I haven't put into the 90s perspective. But
Real World like started then. I've never watched Real World, but
me either.
When like MTV, when like trash reality, besides the fucking Kardashians, but
fuck the Kardashians.
Yeah,
so glad they're done.
Outside of that, like Jersey Shore, like really started like that version of reality TV off where it's just like, let's just put these people in that house together. They're just gonna be fucking get them drunk and just get them fucking crazy. And I love Jersey Shore. It is. It's a great show. It's real stupid. Even they still make new episodes of like older, but it's like it's real sad now because they're all like grown up and it's not like partying days. And there's like real life problems, and you're just like, oh, this isn't as good. Yeah. But there was they made another version of the show called Floribama Shore.
Floribama Shore, I remember
Southern
that.
Version.
Didn't they get canceled after a season because someone died?
That was another show you're thinking of.
That was a different one.
I forget what that one's called. But yeah, that was like in West Virginia or something. Yeah, someone died. It was real sad. Yeah, it was a fun show though.
It was like a rednecky Jersey Shore or something. Yeah.
But Floribama Shore is like in the South, and it's like the same. They put a bunch of young people in a house together and have them just get wild together.
I got you. Right
my wife watches so many reality shows.
Have you seen like 90 Day Fiance or anything?
I haven't really watched it too much. She has watched it. The one that I've watched recent. I don't enjoy most of them. They're fun to watch, but like she watches more than I do, and they are not good.
No, the whole concept that I ever enjoy watching for is people watching, of just like knowing that these are people in the world that exist and are living life.
But
unsupervised.
I don't know. Have you heard of the show Below Deck?
I've heard of it. Haven't seen it.
Okay. This new show, this is a show that was new to me. Apparently, it's been on Bravo for a while. But is a show where like it just follows people who work on private charters. Yeah. So basically, it just follows them, and each episode kind of evolves around like, or every couple episodes revolves around like, oh, like this rich person rented the boat and they have to like do this. And so it's actually, I wasn't that hooked until this lady got busted because on boats you can't bring like drugs on basically. Yeah. Because it's even worse because it's like on water and stuff. So like you can get a lot more trouble. This lady straight up brought Valium on and like lied about it. And then I got fucking hooked, and she also had weed on there. So I just got fucking hooked like right away because like she got kicked off, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of real feeling. Wow. Like this wasn't like super fake.
Well, because I always, because like, so they weren't on like international waters or whatever, or it's
They were
like,
gonna go. They might have been going out to international
what they
waters,
caught her
or
before.
yeah, like before, or they were gonna be on regular waters. I don't know, but apparently you cannot just like have that stuff there technically.
Right. I could see that. Yeah.
So yeah, 6 episodes, and we were on vacation. We just watched Below Deck, and what the craziest part about this show is that they're like, so rich people charter it, and they all just get fucking hammered on this boat, and they show their faces, and they're like usually all assholes too, and you're like, why would you come on this show? You look terrible, but I guess when you're just filthy rich, you don't give a fuck about any of that.
No, I dude, 100% not. Yeah, there's everything. That's so true too. Because that's actually just reminded me of something else I heard. I had heard of some guy who like got real rich and he owns a restaurant or something. He just wears like the same polo every day. It's like if you're really rich, you can at least afford a few colors in that polo. But it's like, but he's like, nope, that polo. He's like,
is that one
for him? You just like don't give a fuck.
Make your decision easy every day.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
One less decision.
One less thing you got to decide on. It's like. This way, this is the look. This is the polo I wore making my money. This is the polo I will wear with my money.
You're damn right.
Dude. Oh yeah, all that trash TV was a lot of fun. There was a lot of comics I've discovered that were on like Real World Road Rules Challenge or
what comics?
Like Christina Pajitsky, Theo Von. They were on like early day like Real Road.
I didn't know Theo Von was. I don't know who Christina is. Maybe
Christina,
if I saw her.
Do you know Tom Segura?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the Your Mom's House podcast?
No.
Okay. That's my
Let me look at what's her name? Christina Brzezinski?
You could just type in Christina P because that's what she goes by because Pajitsky is kind of a hard one.
Yeah, no shit.
Jeff Ross actually makes the joke. One of his first jokes is my name is Jeff Leibowitz. That's Jewish for you should change that.
Okay, maybe I do recognize her.
Yeah, she's got a special. She's got a special on Netflix called Mother Inferior, and then has a Degenerate special as well. And so you got some content to find. But her and Tom Segura are married, and they do a podcast called Your Mom's House. But but her and Theo Von were on Road Rules together back in the day. I didn't know that. And there are other comedians like I didn't either because it was like back when I was like a kid. Because like I was born in '95, and so it's like. That by that time, like I was missing a lot of what was big in the '90s. But
the Miz, the wrestler, the Miz was.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, the Miz was there. Yeah, there's been a few. So they've all kind of started from that point. But
there was
way later.
There was a guy who was the Bachelor back like in the early days of it who parlayed it, and now he's like a college football analyst for ESPN. Like that's what he fucking did. Was he like went on to then become like it is weird. That's what some of these people do is that they go on any reality shows and then they try to parlay it into something else. Basically. Yeah. And the people who pulled off, it's pretty amazing that you can go from a trash reality show to like a legitimate career.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's so funny. It's always funny seeing what people become after that sort of thing because it's always like it always because you can tell at the very least they're seeing it as like a launching pad.
Yeah.
So that becomes a thing.
I've also been watching Big Brother and
that's a classic, yeah.
And
that's a long time.
I've never really watched it much before, but it's because we're just home a little more often.
Yeah, you get a lot of stuff to try.
Yeah, so I've been watching that, and it just happens to be on the nights when I just turn on TV to see what's on.
Nice.
And it's been pretty entertaining. It's a little. I'm not a big fan of like this is what happens when you're on the show or when people are on the show. They'll be like doing something, and then they'll cut to the person in like their little like room where they talk to the camera, and they're just like, "I fucking hate him. He's a goddamn jackass." And then the narrator will be like. Or they'll go back to the scene and the person will be like, "Man, you're the best person I know. Like, I mean, I'm here for you." Like, it's so fucking stupid sometimes because
it's so on the head. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like it's like, oh, dude. Sometimes I wonder if that shit's like scripted. Like, I feel like some of the Real World was scripted, or so. I remember hearing something about one of those shows.
A lot of it, like The Bachelor, it's not scripted. It's just heavily produced, or people know what they have to do to get on television, so they know they have to act like just an overly heightened version of themselves, basically. And that's what it is like on Big Brother. It's just more so, it feels to me at times, that people are just way too over the top about things.
Yeah, very true.
Just like,
becomes a mess. Lagging a little there.
God, perfect pandemic show though. You have everyone in quarantine for 2 weeks on Big Brother before they go on, and then put them on a house. Yeah, that's how they did it.
There you go.
Because it's live, and so it's like the perfect quarantine show. Because
definitely,
you keep everyone, make sure no one has COVID, and then you all put them in a house. No one else is coming to the house, so no one's getting COVID.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like a thing with well, two things. One being like athletes being in a bubble. It's like when you find out kind of how their off the court lives are, you're like, so there's been some chicks in that bubble. And then for sure.
Well, and then, an NBA player got caught getting one of the female COVID testers and bringing her back to his room.
Which I feel like that could, if it's like a COVID tester, like I feel like as long as like that's kind of a hard one, because it's like she's the tester, so theoretically it's like she should be clear, and then she should be
I know
through that. But then it's like I guess she's like been testing a lot of people, so maybe she tested someone who did, maybe she might have it, like spread it. I don't know. It's like there's probably an argument for both, but like
it's probably you just shouldn't be sleeping with people that are working for you. That's not really the best thing.
Yeah, that's typically a good way of going about things. And then plus with like little kids too, like because what you're saying about them going over the top, a lot of that too is like they watch that shit on their own, and then they go like, okay, so this is how I do it, and I can turn it up here. I can like try to make it my own length. I try to turn it into me. And there's a lot of, and that's the thing about like kids, because there's a lot of kids. It's like they're playing. Like if you see people get put on a camera who have like back in the day when you would see kids get get brought up and have a microphone on their face to be on TV, like a lot of times they were pretty unaware of how to be, and then like they would just kind of give very straight answers to the kick. Like, I'm 13. My name's Tyler, and I'm from Washington. And it's just like, all right, great. And then like you can move on, and then like then you just ask him questions, and he like he's like, do you like marshmallows? And he's like, yeah. And then you hit him with marshmallows, and that's the only funny thing that'll happen to him. And like, but then like nowadays, like kids are always they're making videos. They're always watching kids do it. They watch other people do it. Then they create what they would do if they were in it. And so then and then you got kids that have like personalities already. Like they'll be on TV like, thanks, Chuck. So we were over here talking to Miley Cyrus, and she looks great. And like it's just like, fuck, like you've turned this up. Like you're like already a little reporter for the red carpet. And, like you're like 9.
I mean, it's amazing just with like social media, with like TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff, of how kids these days, but like how they can be like how easy.
Welcome to Kids These Days, the podcast.
How easy it can be for like just to make your videos and like do that. Like I couldn't do that when I was a child. I could make it up in my head and then do it that way, but I couldn't. I had no access to a video.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess I did, but like it was on fucking tape. Like
dude, a tape video camera. That's so funny. Yeah, dude, that's so rare too that like kids would even have like an access to a camera. Like I remember having a flip camera, and then I would hook it up and be like, "There's no fucking sound."
Yeah.
it's all fucking video. And so it was just like fucking nonsense. And then like the GoPros are still heavily used, but that's also, you still have to then get the money to buy one, or you have to have parents that can afford to buy you one. Yeah. And so it's just like, it's so people, as technology becomes more and more accessible, we're definitely seeing like highly produced little turds by young kids who are just like throwing together like clips that they made with their friends, and it's like, it's cute and it's kind of fun to watch because like they're little kids, but but it's like it's not gonna be winning any awards, it's just like the kind.
No, but I will say, like, I don't know if you have TikTok or not. It's blows my mind how creative some people can be, because I like look at them like, I don't even know how you fucking think of that. How like you think of that as an idea, and like to do that and then add in all these little things.
Oh, dude, I've seen some cool shit because I don't have TikTok, but like it's like also a part of your mom's house that they find like the crazy people TikToks.
Yeah.
And then that's what they show. Then people will send in insane videos too. But then also there are a lot of like TikToks and Vines and shit too, where it's like insane video effects, and it's like just like these crazy little things that people can do, or like it's like an actually insane video where they just kind of had that spur of the moment kind of shoot, and it worked out, and it was just like they caught something cool. But that is like also what people are going for. Most of the time. It's like it's not something that like that happened, it worked out. You can tell like they tried to write something and then just kind of put it out like in a clunky or like too hard of too scripted of a way where it just like feels off, and it's not like the well done. And so you get a lot of that. But and then there's also just like insane people who go on there and they like they'll send messages like crying to their girlfriend who broke up with them because
I mean,
you realize this is a public platform. This isn't like direct messages.
All social media is, there's always fucking crazy stuff on there. The funniest thing I saw like a month or two ago, I was looking up I don't know, but I was looking up old Adventureland commercials, the theme park.
Yeah.
I was looking them up. I was going through, and then I found this video, and it was of this guy or kid, I don't know. I'm guessing he was like 13 or 14. He's going, he's finding himself. That's how I should preface that. He's a guy finding himself. But he was singing like the theme song to Adventureland, but he'd sing like different renditions. He'd be like, come on over, come on over, come on over. Like he'd do all these different voices. And I just could not tell if it was serious or not, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I showed my wife, and she just died. She thought it was hilarious too.
That's so funny.
And like it was very entertaining.
Yeah. And
then literally like a week ago, we tried finding it, and I finally found the link because I went back in my Google history and I found it. I clicked, and he either took it down or moved it to private, and I was like,
"Wow,
really? Oh man!" Fuck. Like, yeah,
God damn, you caught it just in time.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
So
like that makes me think he was probably not, like, he either is a few years older now or whatever, that he's probably not proud of that. But I'm like, to me, it was hilarious and beautiful and funny. He also did a Menards one, but the Menards one was not as good.
No, Adventureland is good. They're going to be the one that gets your stake and your claim to fame. Dude, if you like watching old weird commercials and that sort of thing, like kind of seeing what advertising was back in the day, I always recommend people check out like the anti-marijuana commercials and then like and stuff like that, because like knowing what we know now, none of them make any sense. It's like all propaganda, and it's like you do not have to smoke weed to like these videos. Like just like as long as you're like conscious of what the state is, where like none of this is true, you start getting it. It's like crazy shit. Like there's one of the best ones that people remember is this one where this girl walks into her house.
Okay.
It's like it's like the sun's out, so it's not like she's like coming in late or whatever. I think she's just like been hanging out with friends or whatever. But she comes into the house, and it turns out it's Elizabeth Gillies, who's like this chick who was on Victorious and has been like a Nickelodeon star. But she walks into her house and she opens the refrigerator, and it's like, you probably don't know her, but she opens the refrigerator, she pulls out like a water, and then like the dog jumps up on a chair at the table, and is like, I'll just call her Elizabeth because I don't remember the name they used. Yeah. It's like, Elizabeth, I really wish you wouldn't smoke weed. You're not the same when you smoke, and I miss my friend. I'll be outside. And then the dog just jumps down and goes outside. What? And she's like, oh my God. Like so hurt, like, oh, what am I doing? But it's like the dog is talking to her. She's not smoking weed. Like she is tripping hardcore. Like she is on acid or like a bunch of a lot of acid or like.
And this is wait a minute. And this girl was on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, her like late. I don't know if what
This
her
is like
career was
10
before
years
after.
ago or what?
No, dude, yeah, like oh fuck. So she was on so this is before she was on Nick. This is when she was much younger. You could tell she was like definitely teens during the commercial
Okay.
because she was on the show Victorious, and she was like like I don't know if it was camera or all the heels, but it was like she was pretty tall and she was very goth. And so it's like, and so it was like she didn't look anything like the character like she did in this commercial. Like in the commercial, she just looked like a young, like just like a young girl. She had like brown hair and a hoodie, whatever. But then like, so then, and like this is like, so this commercial is from like early 2000s easily, early 2000s. And then Victorious was on from about starting at around 2010 ish.
Okay.
And so there's like probably roughly a decade in there.
Yeah, no, when you said old weed commercials, I was thinking the 70s, not literally this century.
Okay, yeah, I
Which
guess
is hilarious that aired in this century.
Yeah, no, it was fucking ridiculous. Like it was either I was like 2000 has got to be like the oldest this could possibly be. But like now that is again would be like 20 years. So in terms of in terms of content goes, that's pretty old. But the commercial, like one of the commercials from the 70s will literally be like, because it's referenced a lot. Like a commercial from like the 70s or 80s is literally the one where the dad walks in, he's got a little box, and his son sitting there in his like hoodie with his headphones around his neck, and he's like, "Where'd you get this?" And he's like, "Dad, where'd you get this from?" Like, "Dad, who taught you how to do this?" He's like, "I learned it from watching you, Dad." And then he just sits there like scared, and his dad's like, "Oh God, what have I done?" And like mustache, what have I done? Like, you know, like,
yeah.
And then it's like, what are your kids? It's like, what are you? Like, what example are you setting? Whatever the fuck it was, and it's like, yeah, that's probably more accurate to kids now. Of like, they'll probably at least see their parents doing it. But that's how kids get into smoking and drinking. It's like no one made that into that commercial. It's just like, you know, it's just all weird. It's just all like little things where you do. It's like, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs, and they fry an egg. It's like, any questions? It's like, yeah, now the egg is delicious. It's like, now I would rather
think about it.
I would rather eat the egg now. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a way to think about it.
Yeah. No, it's just like I know it comes up, and I you know, I never like feeling like I'm trying to push the agenda on anybody. It's just like, you know, but it is a fun kind of little it is a fun little thing to know, where it's like you can be like, it's not for me, whatever, but then like knowing that there's like crazy propaganda about something is always fun. Like,
wait, so are you saying you're getting paid by big marijuana? Okay,
yeah, I'm
fair enough.
Getting paid by Big Mary J.
Big Mary J.
She tells me to go out there, and she meeting the collective, and she she tells me, hey, make sure you plant the seed in everyone's head as much as possible. It is it doesn't do absolutely any damage, and everyone can do it, young and old, which is kind of true. But you know, but I was like, no, genuinely, it's just like the kind of thing where I'm like, we weren't even talking about this, and now there's a commercial up there being like, now they got a new one too, just like lockers will open and pictures of kids with their friends and their family will just disappear, and they're like, what else is gonna go up in smoke? And it's like, that's not happening. Like, that's not happening. Like, I don't care who you fucking interview.
I think at this point, you know, that it's most people don't care. Like, it's not a big deal to most people anymore. Like, if people want to smoke, people want to smoke. No one's like thinking it's gonna like drastically kill you or anything.
No, yeah, exactly.
Or you're gonna like ruin your life. Like, I've had discussions with like an older guy, and he was like, yeah, I'd be scared, you know, walk into the school and the superintendent's on weed. And I'm just like, that would never happen. Like, it's gonna be, it's like just like alcohol. Like, you cannot go to the job high. No. Yeah, like, exactly. So it's like, that would not happen at all.
Dude, that's so true though. Fuck, that's so funny. I'd be scared by I walk my superintendent be high. It's like, what kind of weird life were you living?
Yeah.
Like, it's because there's also commercial. It's like, I think from the 90s, where it's like, where it just shows a camera view and it's like going across all these old people. It's like the guy behind the deli, the guy behind the deli counter is like looking at, it's supposed to be like a 13-year-old kid, you find out at the end of the commercial, but then it's like a guy behind a deli counter being like, hey man, I got some good Thai stick in the back. It's like really overdone. And then like there's this like old ass lady who, like, I guess is his grandma, but there's no like relationship established. She just goes, you want to smoke a joint before we try this on? And they're like in a department store, and then she's all wide-eyed like, yeah. And then fucking, but it's like there's just like they're going across it, but then like it's just going to all these adults trying to offer him weed. I'm like, that 100% didn't happen. Like, he's not just walking into like the fucking local deli on the corner and like the guy behind the counter is going like, hey, you're like 13 now, you're a man, let's go light up a joint. Like, fuck, I don't know, maybe it was somewhere, I don't know. Like, it's, it's like the weird thing where I'm like, what if that was happening to somebody? Like some kid was walking around New York in the fucking like mid 90s or whatever, and then everywhere he goes, everyone who's like, all these old people are being like, you want to get high? And like it's like really overdone. Like they weren't, and like they were all like wide-eyed and crazy. It's like like that's not representative of the behavior. Even it's like they did a thing where they took brain grafts of somebody, and they would show like a brain scan, so it's got like those little needles like making squiggle lines. And they would be like, this is someone's brain when they're sober, look how active it is. And then it's like, this is someone's brain when they're under the influence of marijuana. And then it's like super slow, and it's like very minimal, and it's like, and it turned out later that they had just taken brain scans of someone asleep.
Like, that's how you do it, right?
Yeah, dude.
Get them while they're sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's just what it's like when you're on weed. It's like, are you saying I'm just like asleep?
Who has a problem with that?
Like, yeah, I know they probably need some. If that's the case, then people need some fucking sleep, and they're gonna smoke.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like, they fucking do what you want. I'm, it's like, obviously tobacco and alcohol kills, but it's just like falls under that scope of like, you should, as an adult, you should be able to make the decision.
Yeah, it's not like heroin
on your own
or cocaine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
could
be worse.
Yeah, no, like plenty addicting, but we've already gone through our prohibitions with those, and so it's like fucking. You can grow weed and brew alcohol. Like, you can do it all in your house. So it's like, fuck it, I don't know.
Give the people what they want.
Exactly. But no, I'm just out. But I used to, but I mean, in terms of that sort of thing, like I just this year got off my antidepressant. Like, there are just like certain things that are, if they're proven to be like medicinal, I'm like, people need fucking medicine sometimes. So I'm like, that's always my argument on things. I'm like, fuck, man, like, if I could not care less if you don't do it recreationally. I'm like, I'm just like, as long as like the person who doesn't do it recreationally isn't like hardcore against people who have found it to be useful medicinally.
I think that makes the most sense, and I think it makes more sense for people to smoke something that the earth is like. I'm not much of a hippie, but this is where my hippie point comes through. But from the standpoint of, if it's coming from the earth, and like, people have smoked this for a long time, that seems better than taking something that some company put together, and like if someone can do better on just smoking weed, or it can prevent someone from taking opioids, and we all know like opioids have become a huge issue, like
big time.
Let them smoke weed. I don't give a fuck what they do. Like,
exactly.
It makes the most sense. Like, if it's from the earth, we should just use what the earth gives us. Obviously,
no,
we're human.
Man.
We're meant to. We're all one in the way of with nature.
100%. We've been going for about an hour and a half, and so a little over. So we could probably start wrapping it up here. But I do want to give you one fun fact that I learned recently.
Okay.
Just while we're on the topic, because there are cultures in the world of people like the pygmies in the Congo who are at like beginning stages of evolution, like beginning shit, like they just they live off the food they kill that day. They're like the numbers are dwindling, obviously. Like pretty dry, like it's like, but there are still like fight for the forgotten or whatever. Chariot's building wells for them, everything. It's like there are like these whole tribes of people in jungles and remote areas that are just like untouched by like religion and like technology, especially. And like I had listened to a Rogan podcast recently with this guy. I would have to look up his name again, but I listened to the whole thing, and he talks about going and like being among the pygmies for like a few weeks or something, maybe a few months. I don't even remember, but like it was like a long time. And so to be living in this sort of predicament, but he is then with all these pygmies, and he said that like people travel and like they'll try to like give him a Bible and be like, here's the word of God, and like try to like push their shit onto these people who are living happily without it. And he said that they were literally like ripping up the pages and using them to roll weed and smoke it. So it's like, fuck, man, like that is so, that is like fucking just that thought is so much fun to me, because it just relieves the whole concept of the whole thing. It's just like they live without it and they don't need it. So it's like it just again, so then it becomes a story that they weren't then told. So then they don't have any reason to believe those things. And so then when they're like, here's a whole book of like really thin paper that like is just like fucking 600 pages.
We just want to smoke it.
And it's just like this is your way to life. And they're like, no, we got to figure it out. And then like they start reading it and they start like stories of like life is like this and like this. And they're like, no, we got to figure it out. And so they're like, well, the paper's good. And then you start smoking. It's just like, it's just a beautiful thought to me, because religion has done good for some people, also has caused wars. It's a very vast thing, but it's just such a pleasant thought of thinking of this like little society living in the jungle. It's like,
they don't need it.
They're happy, they're eating, they laugh and tell stories, they have all that, and they're just like, they're good.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so that's just that's going out in the Congo. You got anything? You got any fun facts, guilty pleasures for music? Maybe you got to say there's something funny you can leave us with, or what do you got, or at least what you got coming up?
Putting me on the spot.
Exactly. I figure if I drop it on you, it would be more difficult.
God, I don't know if I have any real fun facts.
Heard anything interesting recently?
This kind of ties into what we were talking about. That almost between the ages of 18 to 39, there's a study that 25% of people don't believe the Holocaust happened.
Shit! Oh god, I'd read that too.
Yeah, I was like, damn. But I also have had people like, I know that who are smart people who have like made comments about that stuff, and I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah, you're just such a letdown. Of like you're just like,
why? Why do you have to believe this?
That's such a bummer.
Like, why do you have to like
sometimes,
or even just like even like give it credence that you're like not that you necessarily believe it, but you're just like, oh yeah, no, like there's totally something up here.
You deny the whole possibility. It's like all the proof, and like there's memorials and like people who were there, and like there's oh my god, there's so much.
I know, and that's the worst thing is it's only gonna get worse as time goes on. Like that's the worst part of it is I don't think it's gonna get better. Not all of a sudden people are gonna be like, oh yeah, like we were just kidding like the whole time.
Yeah, dude.
We're fine. We're fine now. We believe. That's what fucking sucks about the internet. It lets conspiracies grow more than they should.
Yeah,
I guess I could talk about QAnon and how fucking ridiculous all that is. But
that's fucking insane. Yeah,
I don't know how much
you've paid. Into.
Yeah, it's real dumb. This was another thing that happened. I was at a get together outside, but we were there, and this friend I have who I really like her. She's very nice, very funny. She she was basically talking about how like a few months ago there was a QAnon conspiracy with Wayfair.
Yeah.
Like something about like
I
kids in the I don't remember what kids were in the cabinets. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was real stupid. But basically this friend was like, yeah, those prices were up because of, child trafficking. And I just straight up was like, I'd also been drinking that day. I was like, no, not real. Whatever you think it is, that's total false. Just a conspiracy theory. I'm like, I didn't even like try to even argue. I was just like, no. She's like, no, like really? I'm like, no, it's total hogwash. This is all conspiracy theory. It's fucking stupid.
No one's fucking raising prices at Wayfair.
Yeah.
In terms of because child trafficking is down. Like it's like
I don't know.
We gotta charge more. That's such a funny fucking thought.
I hate conspiracy theories.
Oh, milk charges more because they only got 250 kids this week instead of 280. Like,
so that's it. Otherwise, that's great. Listen to the Pandering Talk where I will not talk about conspiracy theories. Check out follow the Gram on Instagram or on Facebook's not that exciting, but follow it on Instagram at least. And that's about it. Yeah, I mean, you can check out my website at SeanDengler.com, but it's really not that exciting. But hey, give me a few hits, I'll take it.
Right, hell yeah, man, that's what's up. Hell yeah. And then They Came From the Underground, TCFTU on everything, or They Came From the Underground everything, TCFTU podcast on Twitter because the name's too long. And then Jordan C Comedy on everything. I got nothing coming up at the moment. And check out the other podcast to do with Dustin Pursley, Intelligent Idiocracy. We'll have a couple of new episodes of that coming out here soon. What
are you guys doing on that one? I don't think I've listened to that.
The goal of that one originally started out as Dustin's idea. Like he was like he would like to learn about these crazy these people, or like he saw a girl with Tourette's, like a video of a girl with Tourette's, like in this, like the kind of shit that she would say. And he's like, I would like to learn about these people. He's like, I should start a podcast. So then the goal is technically like we bring on some, try to learn about something, but typically it just ends up being our friends and we just kind of talk about random shit. So. Yeah, but
I understand.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, man. Let me know about the Gram on the. You said it was 26th.
Yeah, I'll shoot you an invite here on Facebook.
Right on, man. No, yeah, but I think that's all I got, dude. It was a lot of fun, man. And I appreciate you coming back on.
Thank you for having me.
I got plenty of time, so just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back right away.
Right, no, but keeping the back.
Every week I'm back talking.
So he's on so much. We started a new podcast.
Yeah.
All kids these days. No.
All kids these days. I like it.
Thank you everybody for tuning in, and check out some previous episodes. Check out Sean's last episode as well if you enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
What were some of the other podcasts that you said you started?
I tried to start a 5-minute open mic podcast.
Oh, really?
Where I would go up on use my 5 minutes at an open mic and have a comedian, and me and comedian would talk for 5 minutes as my set.
Okay, there you go. Right on. So was it a 5-minute podcast? It was really just like in 5 minutes. That's hilarious. There was no discussion around it. There was just okay, cool. That sounds fun. That's a new thing. No one's doing that. I don't think anyway. It sounds like it is at least a unique concept, and so that sounds like it could be fun because I'm wanting to do live shows with this podcast where I can like bring on comics and then people can come in for a show and then see it all, and then that like maybe can help draw a business or whatever, but or it might hinder it, but we'll have to see based on the quality. But yeah, I was gonna try to do a live one at the end of the month, and I kept forgetting to like reach out. And then me and Bradley Millis, the sound guy at Lefties, we were trying to do a Podfest for next month, and we had started talking about it earlier, like at the beginning of September or whatever. But literally just the occupancy of like who we would have there for being the podcast would take up all of the occupancy, so it would be only performers. So it would just be like we were just recording podcast in an empty bar, and like, and so it would just, and so we were like, okay, we can't fucking do it. And it feels weird to be like, yeah, okay, we can't have all the performers here at once, so you can only be here when you're on in order to make room for customers. It feels weird. But Lefties also did. Just speaking of that real quick, Lefties did just add in a head shop, which is where you get like glass for smoking, or like papers or that. But they also have like vapes and other kind of accessories, and but then they also sell vintage clothes. And things like that. So they got a whole bunch of stuff there. Go check them out. Help them out. It's cool that they actually were able to add business into their business during a time when people are losing business. And so this is pretty sweet, but just help them out in general. Anyway, Mohamed Yual.
What's up?
How you doing, brother?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Just going. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of going with the motions with all this right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just whatever's coming down the road. I'm just accepting anything.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, dude. That accepting anything is kind of where you need to be. That's just where we're all at. Like fucking, we're all lost, and just trying to figure out when this is all gonna fucking go back to normal. And then it's like, it feels weird that this is enough that it's shutting everyone down, but then like. And then people, there are other things that go on that people get, and so it's like I feel like I clearly don't understand enough. I think the whole reason that we're shut down right now for COVID is that we just don't have a vaccine yet. Like if that was out, we would just be the flu or some shit. We'd all be out doing shit normally again.
I'm just annoyed at this point. It's just annoying. I just want to get it over with.
Yeah. Have you picked up any new hobbies in the lack of being able to do stand-up or anything? You started reading again, or?
No, I have not. All I do is go to work and go home, and that's the most exciting thing.
That's the most exciting part is just getting home.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to doing anything in particular when I get there. But I walk in the door, then I fall asleep, and I just wake up and go back to work. I don't know what happens. I lose that span of time. How long have you worked at Hy-Vee now? Then were you considered an essential worker?
A quote unquote, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right on. But again, anyway, how long? I keep forgetting where I'm at with what I'm asking. So I feel like I'm like already 100, like in a million places. But how long have you worked at Hy-Vee again?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, cool. How long have you been doing comedy?
Going to 5.
Going to 5 years?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's what's up. What was your initial start into comedy? Like, what was it that made you decide to get on the stage for the first time, and where was it?
So I've always watched. I guess every comedian story starts with. I've always watched like comedy specials.
Yeah.
Starting with Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, Kevin Hart, but I've never thought of stand-up comedy as a job. But I had a scholarship in 2012 to play soccer at Nyack.
Nice.
It's in Mason City Community College, and then I transferred from there to Iowa Western Community College to play for them.
Nice.
And this was around 2013, 14. And then everything was going well. I always thought I was going to be either a semi-pro or actual professional soccer player.
Oh, nice.
That was my whole dream job. That was the plan.
Hell yeah.
I never liked school.
Oh yeah, no.
If it wasn't for college, if it wasn't for soccer, I probably would have never went to college. I would have got a job straight out of high school. So everything was going well. I had a scholarship to play there. I was my first season went well. Scored a couple goals, and then my second year, I got kicked in the back, I got injured, and I couldn't play. I was off for that season, wow. And they can take away athletic scholarships if you're injured.
Really?
So my scholarship was like gone.
Damn.
Because I didn't play anymore. So
now does that mean you were in full debt to even what they were originally covering?
Yep.
Wow.
So I had to pay everything.
Jesus.
And so my injury, this is 2015.
Okay.
And this was like summer, and the season was over. I didn't play the whole season, and then I got real depressed, because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because I was like, soccer's the plan now. I can't play anymore. So,
what's fun? Wait, you know what's funny is I was in my head. I kept trying to think of a kind of a funny way to transition into it being because you got depressed, because I feel like that led me into. I also was part of me getting into it, like a little bit of a trigger, and then when I got to a certain point, and then I've talked to a bunch of people who also say that, and so it's like, and so I feel like it's there's definitely truth to that being a real inspiration.
There's a common thread among comedians and like the way they deal with their problems, like getting depressed, and I don't know, like talking into a microphone to a live audience, like whatever it does, whatever it does to your brain, like it makes you forget about being depressed for like whatever amount of time.
Yeah, it's very fun. Yeah, very true.
So this is 2015. I was in Des Moines. I was still injured, and it was the summertime. So Dan Umthen?
Yes.
For some reason, I was bored. I was looking around open mics because I just finished watching George Carlin's special. I think it's Complaints and Grievances.
I think that's what it is.
Have you seen his specials?
No.
You should, but he's one of I like the way he writes or jokes. I think he's really good. So then I went on Google and typed in open mics in Des Moines, Iowa.
Nice. And
the first name that popped up was Dan Umthen.
Really? What is it, like his Facebook page or something?
It was his email and a calendar of all the mics in Des Moines.
Oh, cool. Right on.
So I clicked on his email and I sent him an email. I was like, what's the mic happening this week? And he's like, House of Bricks. This is a long time. This is when House of Bricks still started. That was
I think I was there once for like some kind of for like a band. But God, it's been so long. Was that over near Woolies?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I have been there. I couldn't remember for sure, but I played there once.
You used to be in a band?
Yeah, I was in a metal band, and we were some of the members were really good, and some of us were still pretty amateur, and so it was a lot of intimidation. It was so hard to get the people that were in the band to kind of work together, like real well, and it was hard to. Like I could never quite figure out navigating like writing songs or whatever, and so it was like everyone would kind of just play whatever for a little while, and until eventually we would just get into a groove of something, but it was like all unspoken. So eventually it was just all like, this isn't fucking working out, and then like we had the main dude who was like the hardest to get to learn any of the songs was like he also had all the equipment, so it was a real hard cut when we were like, I think we're like me, I guess maybe just me and the drummer are gonna try something. I don't know, it was just like it wasn't really working. So then when we had to cut him, it was like, well, there goes like a lot of our shit that we've been using, and that is a very shallow way of looking at it, but it was just like but it's more of just one of the big key factors that we were like, okay, we can't really do this. Like, we don't really have all the shit we need now. And it was just a mess. And
what did you play?
I was vocals. I did I used to be more into singing and thinking I was going to be a musician. And I would do screaming and all that stuff. So I was that guy. Emo as fuck, flippy hair and all that, and so it is what it is. But And that was the old me. And yeah, I was playing. I was in like a punk band. I think you probably consider pop punk when I was in high school, and then like after that, I was just like trying to be in a. I've like met enough people that liked metal and played the right instruments that I could try that out, and it also didn't work. So yeah, but the first band kept going for a while and eventually disbanded because they all just like, you could tell they all just kind of grew apart or just were not into it anymore, and then they all like started new bands, but they all still hang out as like one group. So it's just like even they knew it wasn't going anywhere. They were like, yeah, we're all gonna do different bands, but all still hang out all the time.
What was the name?
The first band was Underdog Story, and then the metal band was called In an Instant. This is because we just kind of formed real quick. I just like met one dude who's like, I know all these people, and I was like, all right. And so then he showed up and brought everybody, and then yeah, so it formed pretty quick, and that's where it came from. But it was always kind of a flimsy. I wasn't always like too thrilled about the name, but it was like, I guess at least we have like a reason for it. It's not just something that we came up with. You know, like there's a band called Asking Alexandria that I was really into. And it sounds like the kind of name that should definitely have an origin story. Like that there should be, even if it's like from a story or like a book or a cartoon or something, that there should be an Alexandria somewhere. And that Asking Alexandria was like a phrase used in a key moment, but literally in an interview, he's like, it means nothing. Like it has no origin. Like we just thought of it and we're like, yeah, that sounds good, and that was the name of their band, and they fucking blew up. So it's like it literally doesn't have to mean anything, which is exactly how the song title structure works. Like it just will have really nothing to do with the whole song. Like they have a song called I Once Maybe Possibly Perhaps That Once Was a Cowboy or something. They just like add every like little like superlative or whatever the fuck word I'm thinking of before it, just so that way and then you hear it and you're like, this doesn't, the song does not fit the title. It's not even it's not a phrase in the song. It's like typically it's not even the same words throughout, like whatever. But yeah, that's a big fun thing about metal bands, is it doesn't have to make any sense as far as titling. The song will be like about something but then titled something irrelevant. But
that's how I feel about my stand-up comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
To me, it's just whatever words come out of my mouth. It's fine.
it's all on brand with you and has a point, but the way it's portrayed, it really kind of takes some digging. And yeah, exactly. I could see that. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, it's all me. It's just that it's not gonna really make sense at first. You just got like, there's a deeper, like, they got it from somewhere. Yeah. It came from somewhere. That's good. I like that. So then when you grew up, how like had you always been watching comedy, or is it something you like kind of discovered later on? You were kind of aware of it, because I was kind of aware that stand-up comedy was a thing, because I knew like Eddie Murphy had these like specials, but I didn't really understand what he was doing. I didn't understand that like that form of entertainment. Like I could understand music in a band and like all that like pretty quickly, and that all made sense. And well, hey there, and so that was a passerby, and we're in the basement, so they had to go out of their way to get into my window to whistle at Mohamed. But like I knew the Eddie Murphy specials, but I also like I said, I just didn't understand the thing. So it wasn't until like watching it wasn't until I was in like probably late high school, junior senior year, I actually started. I think it was probably my senior year. I think I discovered Bo Burnham, and then like at that point I had been watching kind of Gabriel Iglesias like the cut up specials on like Comedy Central, and so I was like, oh, this is like a new lane, like, or not a new lane, but it's like for me, you know. It's like, if I haven't seen it, it's new to me. And so I was like, oh shit, this is the whole thing. So like, have it like when you started listening to comedy, how did you had you always kind of vaguely been aware of it?
Yes, and I've always been I don't want to say a class clown, but for some reason, like even if I'm serious, like just being funny, like I'll just say funny stuff in class, or like good example of this, like I got made fun of a lot.
Yeah.
Because I have like dark skin. I'm African, guys.
Shh, don't tell them. They're not gonna listen to the rest of this.
So
someone comments like, "God, I stood it on Friday. I refuse to listen. How dare you?" He's not the first.
So I've always been bullied, and when I came here, I didn't speak any English, so I got bullied for being African and not speaking any English.
Wow.
So I had to when I did learn English, I had to come up with comebacks, and I had to be so when anyone got me, I had to like get them back quick. So that's how I developed the way I talk on stage. Like I never write jokes out. I just whatever comes to mind, I say it. If it's funny, like I'll write it down.
You got to flow. You do have like a real like a rhythm or cadence, whatever. I don't know for sure how it's accurate. Which word is accurate? The most accurate? I think they're all accurate. When you're talking is definitely unique. Yeah.
So I just I combined that with watching George Carlin and stand up, and then when I did find out that open mics were a thing, I just went to one, and I didn't even write down a set. I just put my name. I just wrote my name on the list. Went up. Talked about being depressed for 5 minutes. that was it.
No, the way they write what you know. Yeah, I knew that I was sad. That's awesome. That's basically how it was for me too. Yeah, it's just really, it really just comes down to when you finally realize you can Google mics, and then find them, and it's a thing that I feel like as soon as people discover that, that's when they all decide to that's either when they've like actually discovered comedy, or that's when they're about to start doing stand-up comedy. Like, I think it's like and you always know that people who go to open mics to check them out, or just like because they enjoy going, are like actually comedy fans, because it's 100% you're going to hear people go up on stage and say a lot of things that they thought would get any laugh, and then it becomes so funny by the end, because it's like you just keep listening. It's like 3-4 minutes in, and you're like, you just saw the flashlight reflect off your glasses, and you're just like, okay, so I've learned, like, as an audience member, you can probably put together that means he's getting the light, like an indication where the time is, and we haven't laughed, and there hasn't been any good punchlines or any punchlines. And so it starts to get so funny from the fact that it's just like awkward, and it's just like it becomes this big suspense, this long suspenseful thing that you know is gonna go nowhere. You're just waiting for the drop. Like there's all this build, and then you're just waiting, and then nothing happens.
I don't know. This is gonna sound cocky, or I don't know what this is gonna sound like, but the first time I've ever talked for 5 minutes, I don't know, it was natural. I just felt like it was good. I didn't have any punchlines or anything, but I think my personality made people laugh, which is like
delivery is a big thing.
Yeah. So I think they were laughing at me because like the way I talk is kind of awkward, and I'll just end the story and never mention it again.
Yeah, no, I can see why you say that. Yeah, that's definitely something I've witnessed in the comedy for sure, but at the same time, that's part of that. Like you could even call it your charm on stage. It's just like it's just like the way you're delivering it is like the timing of it, and then the way you say it is very much so what is like a funny factor about it for you. And that's not something that I can really, that's not something I can lean on. maybe one day I'll have more of like a flow that'll kind of just like it just sounds like it's supposed to be funny, so maybe it'll make you giggle even if you don't really get it. But like I'm definitely at a point where I kind of got to rely on the information that's coming out. So that's one of those, and like because Cooper has that.
Yeah,
Cooper Patterson. He's a silly dude, and so when he's on stage, he's like he moves around quite a bit sometimes, and so it's just the way he does it is funny. It's a big part of it. But
yeah. I gotta tell you the story about the Funny Bone. Do you know the Funny Bone in West Des Moines?
Yeah.
They had a comedy contest.
Nice. Was it Clash of the Comics?
Clash of the Comics.
Nice.
I think it was I think it was like 2 years ago, but I got to give credit to a person that saw me do comedy and just told me to be myself. His name is AJ Grill, and the first time he saw me, he's like, "Whatever you're doing right now," he's like, "Don't change anything." And I'm like, "Okay." So this is the Funny Bone in West Des Moines. I'm in this contest, and so the rules are you can't curse and you can't go over 5 minutes. And whatever. So the comedians went up, and everybody had transitions. Everybody had like time set, and I just went up there. The first thing I did, I ate off some guy's plate. I just like I just asked about the food.
I had to rush on stage.
I asked about the food.
Starving.
And if it was good or not. And the guy's like, the chicken wings aren't bad. So I was eating for like first, and then I went over time and I cursed, but after the I was the audience favorite, but the judges didn't like me at all.
Oh no.
I got
I broke all the rules. I cursed. I went over the time. I ate chicken wings off a dude in the front row's plate.
And they give you scorecards and comments of how you did. And one of the comments I got was, you didn't seem like you knew what you were doing. And I was like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
But like, people don't get like,
you don't seem like you know what you're doing.
People who know like how I tell jokes, they'll be like, yeah, that's the whole point.
Right. Yeah.
But one of the judges, his name is Willie Farrell.
Yeah.
He's like a well-known comedian. He was the only judge that gave me good scores.
Nice.
And he got what I was trying to do from like off top.
Yeah, dude. I've heard good things about Willie Farrell, so that's good. That's good. No, yeah, he seems to be like a decent dude and a comedy, like a real comedy fan. So yeah, he was at Teehees, and then like Sam Hershog went up real late, and he's like, or maybe it was I think it was Sam. That's the first one that came to memory, so I'm going with it. Willie Farrell, I think, left before he went on, and he just went on. He made a bit out of like being upset that all the other comics like sickened him away. Like it just ruined the show, or like it's just like, it's been all right. Let's just go. We're not missing anything. I made him leave. Whatever. And so it turned into a good thing. And like and the whole time I was like, I thought I knew what he looked like. Apparently not, because I did not realize he was there. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so Willie Farrell gave you good scores. And
like a year later, he asked me to open for him. I think it was like around Christmas.
Yeah.
And I texted him. I was like, do you know who I am? He's like, yeah. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Because I know I cannot. I'm not a funny bone comedian. I'm just not.
That's fun, dude. That's the do you know who I am is such a hard. I feel like I feel like that's one of those things I would never say, even if I'm like genuinely being like, if it's for like real reasons, like you had, like it's like the question like, did I stutter? It's like I can't like, if I realize I've been stuttering this whole time. This is part of me. And I don't care, but whatever. And so basically the whole thing is that it's hard to ask it without it sounding kind of rude. It's just like, do you know who I am? And it's like, yeah. And like, okay, because I come with a big check. Like, like if it's not up to my standard, I will walk. Like, it's like, or it's gonna be like, okay, I just want to make sure that you know what you're getting into. And it's like, but that's like the heart, but that you never know if it's going to go in that direction. So you always be like, yes, Google, you know, and just pretend in the moment. But yeah, no, sorry, I interrupted you.
It's funny, like, cause I became a troll of myself in the Des Moines comedy scene. Like,
yeah,
people would like say like Mohamed would do that, or when I do something weird, they'd be like, of course you would do that. So people, they'll start making fun of me, and then I started making fun of me.
Oh yeah, you fucking have to. Like, that's one thing I've learned big time. You gotta make fun of yourself. Can't take yourself too seriously. But that's like, I've definitely had enough said to me offhanded, like just in life and whatever, that I'm like, okay, I have some stuff to draw from, and like the whole like, I literally would just say I look like a lesbian. Like, people try to make like pretty specific things, like I wrote a roast joke for Cooper. I think it was like, you look like, I was like, and it was literally right after I literally wrote out a roast roster. Oh no, a good one is for Dan Umpton, actually. The one that I like is like I made a roast roster during COVID when I was not working. There are no mics. I was just like, I'm gonna try to roast all the comedians, just like visually, because I don't really know them, and so for the most part, and so I just started roasting a lot of them. And for Dan Umpton, I was like, you look like a balding Wookiee, like blah blah blah. Well, it's just because it's like it's just, and then like, oh, and like then Matt Jacobson was like, if you were in Star Wars, you would be Leukemia Skywalker. Like, it was just like dumb shit where I was like, but it was right after hearing a tip, like, where it was like, compare them to like a celebrity and then add in like an ailment, or like a sickness, and then and or like a mental thing or whatever it might be, and then like that's your thing. So I was like I'm getting a little too formulaic with this now already, because I was like, all right, I can do that, and I like kind of took off. I was like, all right, that was good. It's good practice, but I'm definitely using it on too many comedians. I did it on Cooper, Matt Jacobson, and Dan, and then like fucking like that was like the whole thing I was doing. But those are also some of my favorite ones, because it does make them, like, because it even makes them laugh. So that's always ideal.
No, I like that nobody takes me seriously in Des Moines comedy. It's like it's the best thing. I could just say whatever, and people were like, "Well, of course he would say that."
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, exactly. People, that's fucking awesome. Like, you've gotten to that point that people are just like along for the ride. They're just like, we know where this is going. Have you? Would you say you've changed much since then? Since he said that, or have you been pretty consistent with it since?
I've learned to write better.
Yeah.
Which it came over time, because I used to just talk, and whatever was funny, I would just remember it. So I started writing better jokes, and I would have like a whole setup, whatever punchline, and that was weird. But then I started mixing just riffing and actual material, and I just started being more comfortable and not feel pressured to like try to be funny all the time, because like it's almost impossible. So I just
yeah. No, I feel like a lot of your writing is kind of done on stage, like with that style, because it is, because it's like, it's jumping around, but also it's like keeps you on your toes when you're listening. So it definitely has its benefits to it. And you'll hear comedians say whatever they're gonna say, but like that's the thing though, is it's like, that's the thing, is that everyone's aware, like the whole scene is aware of you, and then like and then you're on the gram and everything, and you have a pretty, and then that's the thing with your consistency in how you're doing it, is that you're learning how to do it funny, and so then you're just developing it more as you do it, by doing it, and then I feel like that's ideally the kind of you have a style that is figured out best through just doing it.
That's one of the best things to know, is how say I have like a joke, a knock joke, and I give it to like, I don't know, 5 comedians, and I tell them all to tell the same joke, except tell it how they would tell it. So some of them might just tell the joke and not be funny, and some of them might say the same thing except would be funnier just because their personality or like their voice or like how they say it is funny. So the best thing I know is like I know how I want to talk, which is weird to say, but like knowing how I want to say it is words, it makes it better. It makes it easy.
Yeah, big time. Well, I mean, Dave Chappelle knows how he says S's. You know, like like he has like a like he has a certain way of talking. It's like it almost sounds like a little it's like subtle Southern, and then it's so then the S, like S's. It's like at the very tip, and then it's kind of loose, and so it's but he knows that it's like, but he knows his voice, and like when you hear him talk like on stage and he does that soft voice, like that's when it comes out. But then he'll talk loud and he's like what, like and it's gone. And then like that's a horrible example, obviously, the voice I just did there, but he's like, you hear him. I've heard him talk just like off stage and obviously it's just, there's you know, he has his rhythm and his cadence and the way he says things, and he knows how he does, you know, he knows how he says it. And so it's just one of those things that you just develop. But obviously that's all, again, it goes back to just you develop it on stage just by doing it. And he's been doing it since he was literally like a teenager. So he's so he's been fucking his whole life. I think he's had to figure out his voice.
I gotta there was this so this is I think this is the funniest thing I've ever did in my comedy career. This was at an open mic in West Des Moines. It used to be called Last Laugh. That's what turned into Teehees eventually. But I had this joke. So you know the stereotypes about black dads leaving their kids?
I'm aware of pretty much every stereotype, and it's like crazy when people like aren't aware of one.
So I had this joke where I said I don't like the stereotype of black dads leaving their kids, and I left in the middle of my set, and I just left. So Tommy Morgan Jr. was the host, and it was like I had 5 minutes, and I left like 2 minutes in.
Nice.
And I went to the parking lot, drove off, went home, and they actually checked in the parking lot. They was like, he actually left. And the next week I came back to the mic. They were like, that was fucking hilarious. We didn't expect you to actually leave.
Yo, oh man, I just had it. What's funny about that is like a tag isn't even the words. I feel like another version of that could be like, you leave and then you come back with a pack of cigarettes. Just walk in like packing it and be like, what? I said I was going out to get cigarettes. Like, they're like, oh shit, he came back. Like we thought he were gone. All the rumors weren't true, and so then.
So I can't repeat that again. That was like a once and off.
Right.
Once off and an opportunity.
That's so funny too, because Cooper just kind of did a similar thing. It wasn't the same thing because like yours had context and like based on a stereotype and everything. Cooper literally last week just like, while everyone was cheering, like started going on stage, and people love Cooper, so everyone, and so especially like the comedians are like, yeah, like Cooper, yeah, we're excited, and so everyone's cheering, and apparently like Mike Getler and whoever were in on it. He had told them about it, but none of us knew, and like most of the room didn't know, and so Cooper goes up and he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, like cheer, like keeping the audience going, and they're all rowdy, and then he's just like, all right, yeah, thank you, that's all I have, good night, and he just like. And then he like continues waving as he like goes. He doesn't have a microphone on him at all the whole time. He doesn't even have one in his hand. And then he pops out the side door, walks all the way, stops, looks both ways, crosses the street, goes to his car, goes home. And, so, and we were all looking around like, wait, is he not? He's not coming back. And then Mike goes, and then Getler turns to me. He's like, no, he's not coming back. He's gone. And I was like, God damn it. That's so funny. Like it's because it's just out of nowhere, and then Dustin Pursley had to go up right after him, and he was fucking and then Dustin was like, how the fuck do I follow that? Like I have to come up here and do like a whole set now. Like you were all still thinking about Cooper. Like you did not have time to like be like, okay, so there's gonna be an end to this. Like it was just ended. Oh, it was great.
See, I like that type. Most people like that doesn't make sense. It's not funny. Blah blah blah. But I rather you remember.
Shit.
See, but like it takes a certain type of people to like. I feel like to the general public, they would think it's weird. But I rather you remember me than you thought I was funny.
Yes, I did. That was you actually have a like. God, I don't remember who it was now. I guess I was talking to some guy. I think maybe it was Dustin, or maybe it might have been Kilbride. But so one of them has said that you said that you had been said the phrase like, I don't worry as much about being like it was. I don't know exactly. It was like I don't worry as much about being funny on stage as I do about being memorable. And I was like, yeah, I was like, that's good. I get the logic behind that. Because it's like then because having them if they remember you, then you definitely made an impression.
But in theory, I could have a solid set. I could have transitions. I could have set up punchline.
You have a memorably funny set.
Or I could be weird.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Very true. They can go in all kind of angles. Like Wonder Bread. Like Wonder Bread is memorable because he's fucking crazy. Like, like what? Like, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, if you got like a thing, then you're good to go. And like, I've kind of starting comedy, I dressed down big time. Like I was just like jeans, put there on a flannel or t-shirt, you know, whatever. Got my Jordans, and they're like sky tops, but I got the top like tucked into my jeans because I'm like, this is gonna be too distracting if I got my shoes flaring out. And so I just like, and now I've started just like wearing all my fucking ripped jeans and like I got like I wear combat boots. Mostly, but those are tucked in because it starts to look a little old timey warish to have it like when you have combat boots on that your pants are tucked into. It's like you look like you're ready for combat legitimately. Like and it's like no, it's style. And then so I just been and I have been wearing like only button-up style shirts. Like I'll throw in a flannel still here and there, but like I've just been like, fuck it, I already have gauges and then piercings above those, so it's like it's not like I'm hiding who I am by just like wearing clothes without holes in them. Like at least they're manufactured holes and not just like from the fact that, and not just from me being so poor that or so poor or just so okay with where I'm at that I can just wear a piece of clothing until it's falling apart. Like I'm like either I grow out of things or I just like either I grow out of it or I will have it forever. But like it, I don't think I've had any clothes just like go so bad they get holes. Or I don't know.
I prefer being myself. Like that's the most comfortable. Especially on stage, like I'm sure we've heard this before from other comedians, but I generally feel comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
And other comedians will tell me like, you know how like they use alcohol to get like to make them loose.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never felt the need for that.
I don't anymore. I started out that way. Did you drink?
No, I don't.
You don't drink? Did you ever drink, or was it something you started then quit, or is it something?
No, I've never. Maybe that's why. But no, I've never drank.
That could be. I mean, but at the same time, if you're not the kind of person who is like, I think the whole reason I even go to vices is because of how I was raised. Just like being like, my mom smokes, dad drinks. It's just like these are things adults do. They're fun. They seem to love them. So I will also do those things when I'm an adult, and it's like, well, you probably shouldn't, but also it's hard for them to be like, it's hard to have a rough upbringing, and then like watch your mom tell you not to smoke while smoking, and then like not smoke. Like it's just like that's another story in and of itself. But like, that's kind of what drove me to it. Is like it just seemed like this cool thing, and then like it like makes you feel different, and it's like. Cigarettes, it was like for like I can smoke now and like I can kind of enjoy it, but like cigarettes at the beginning when you're like 14, maybe 16, and or like probably I think about 16 is when I started. You just like jack one from your mom or something, and you go smoke it, and then you're just like, well, I'm dizzy. Like this is not fun. And then like a lot of time passes, and you're just with a bunch of people smoking, and you're like, yeah, I'll fit in. And then you just grab one, and they're like, there you go, and you're like, all right, okay. I kind of knew what to expect this time, and you're like, I just want to look cool, and then that's how addictions start. Is you just like do it sometimes, and you get used to it, and then you develop like getting used to having it, whatever. But smoking, a lot of it is just like smoking cigarettes. A lot of that is just like how you grow up, and I think same with drinking. Like if you grow up in a house where everyone is able to handle themselves sober, then this is how it turns out. Is that how your household is? Your parents drink or anything?
No, I grew up in a Muslim family, pretty strict. I got beat up a lot.
Oof.
When I came to the United States, like I went to a poor middle school, so I saw a lot of drugs, a lot of weed. But I think what saved me from hanging out with those people was
all 12-year-olds are into coke.
Sports. I think sports kept me away from like just hanging out with bad people.
Yeah,
that's probably why I don't drink or smoke today.
Nice. That could, yeah, no, that helped. Yeah. Oh shit, that's actually, I just remembered that's a couple of the dudes I talking to shortly after I think it was sometime after high school, talking to people, and it's like, yeah, that said that apparently the Ames team was, I think, a little split. It was kind of like you'd have the party kids, and then it was like and then you had the other kids that were like, yeah, whatever. Like, I just play sports and like we do like fun stuff, but like they aren't like they're still like too cautious about drinking and doing all that. And so it was like, it's like Ames had a real mix. I thinking back on it, it was one of those things that it just seemed like, it's like you kind of realize that, but at the time, but everyone, it wasn't how it is in the movies where it's like, oh, if you drink or smoke weed and you're in high school or whatever, then you hang out with only people who do that. It's like, no, they're all mingling together. It's just like a matter of like if you get along with those people or not.
My best friend in middle school, he was a Mexican kid. He sold weed, and we were good friends. But for some reason, like I've tried weed before, but I've never got into it. But yeah, he sold drugs like.
Nice. What did he sell? Was it just like weed?
When he got older, he did a lot of hardcore stuff. But in middle school, he sold weed.
Nice.
He would like we'd be in class, and
he was a business owner.
Just give me a bag of weed to hold this for me. And
that's funny.
He knows the teacher won't suspect me at all.
Right.
So he's like, just hold this for me, and I'm like,
smart.
God damn it.
Yeah. I never saw any of that in middle school. I met a kid in middle school or whatever that apparently had done coke when he was like real young, but then it was like, then later I think I was like, he's probably lying. Like, he said he apparently did it when he was like 8 or 10. I don't even know, but I was like, he's probably making that up. Like, it's like no one was doing that shit. Like, I remember the first time I smoked was in the basement with my brother, but then there was a time where I just went to my friend's house and she had some rolled up in notebook paper and was like, yeah, just smoke this. I was like, we don't have anything to smoke with. Like, we got notebook paper. I was like, I don't think that works. And it didn't. Like, it was so bad. It doesn't burn. Like, the paper is shit for it. But yeah, it was just that was a weird thing. That it was just like trying to figure it out, because it was just like doing it because it was like this. In high school, you just do it really because it's this new thing you learn of, and it's a drug. And like, ooh, it's like they're always pumping you with information and drugs, and you're always seeing people having so much fun on the drug. And so then in high school, I think a lot of it is just like, this is taboo, so it's cool. Like, we're the cool kids. Like, yeah, we got high over the weekend, and it's like, wow, like those guys are living. Like, no. They're not. Like, they barely know what to do with themselves when they are. Like, even when they do it, they just probably go in the woods and then just sit around for a while.
That's the other thing about like hanging out and doing like partying and stuff like that. Like, I did a little bit of that, but it's not that great. I mean, it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
But to me, I was obsessed with soccer.
Nice.
So I would have tournaments and like parties going on, and I had to choose either like I would sleep and like get enough rest to like play the next day or go to this party. And I feel like I've always chosen soccer, so that kept me away from like the party crowd.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Yeah, no, you had something to that. You like, yeah, well, you had. Like, it seems like it was like you didn't have a lot of outside pressure like to try to do all that shit. It's like so that helps fucking shit ton to not start doing all that if you're not like if you have something that you can actually work for that you know it's going to affect, but also don't have people being like, oh, come on, like you gotta do it, like people that like, because I feel like some people think that people will if they go like, here, like try weed, or here, try alcohol, their friend that if they go, oh yeah, no thanks, I don't want that, they're gonna go, oh, you're a fucking loser, get out of here, we don't want to hang out with you. And then they're gonna go tell all their friends like they're a loser, they didn't want to get high. They're like, don't hang out with them. And they'll be like, no, I'm alone now. I'll smoke it now, please. Like, no, now you're begging. You know, like that's not gonna happen. Like no one's like genuinely. I think that's never happened.
I don't know about your friends, but all the friends that I had that partied and drank, all of them, they all have kids now. They have like jobs. Yeah, their life is kind of boring.
Yeah,
and like they had like settled.
They lived a little too hard, too fast.
And I don't know. It's my worst nightmare to have a job and family, and just that's my life.
Yeah, dude, that sounds so boring. Like blow your head off boring. Like legitimately. Yeah, no, I agree.
But if that's what my life is gonna end up being, I don't mind. But I want to try to at least not live that way.
I agree. I fucking agree, man. That is not the way to go. Like, I just think of it like if I ever have kids, I hope that I am like killing it to the point where I'm like, you know what? I've kind of hit a spike in all this glory. Let me I think I'm ready to, start that phase of my life and have like a foundation and something to like. That's all. Like whatever the fuck you want to look at it. It's like because I could see it being a thing one day, but like so far away. Like I don't see it coming. Like especially now. Like this would be the worst. Like my brother has a kid who's like 1.5. Who's like approaching 1.5, and he just turned 21. So like. So he had that kid when he was like 19 or 20, but like late 19, and so he fucking now he's got him and his girlfriend got married, and so now it's his wife, and so he's 21, married with a kid in a house, and he has a towing job, and I'm like, that sucks because he's also like a rapper, and so it's just. It's like he has the story now of like so many rappers where they already have the family kids, but while they're still in like the progressive phase where they're like learning their voice and shit. So then they're gonna be like, if he gets like any fame off it, he'll have like a 15-year-old daughter or whatever that he's like I'm trying, I gotta go out here and rap. Like it's just like a weird. I can totally see why people laugh at it in the early stage, because it does seem weird to just like already have your life together and be like an adult and be like, all right, I'm gonna go pursue my rap career, and like, but that you could do that with rock and be like, I'm gonna go hang out with my band, me and the boys are gonna meet in the garage and jam our shitty songs that will and then never market them or do any real moves. We're just gonna be a fucking cover band and act like that's gonna lead us into like writing great songs, and like, no, it's not gonna happen. Like, but some people do break through, but a lot of times they're pretty young. Like there's not, we're not. You're always, if a new band comes out, it's gonna be like someone pretty young if they're really good. Like I don't think a bunch of old dudes are getting together to start bands at lunch. Like if they get together, they're a jam band in their in their town. That like they play at bars in their town. Like they're not like maybe the next town over, but they're not like a bunch of old guys who are like still working, but like the lady and they got like 15 years to retirement, you know, and they're like, well, I always wanted to be in a band growing up, you know, like, so I thought like, hey, I got some friends here, like they all play, like we all like, we'll get a band going, we'll write some songs, it'll be fun. And then they next you cut to them in a hotel, like snorting coke off hookers. And it's like no, it's like, so there's it's just you start it takes a lot of, I think it takes a lot of energy, and then like it's just like all this of like you get to develop into an artist as you mature, and so it just like all will like become part of you, and you become that musician. You don't just become like a used car dealership manager or whatever, you know. Like it's just like it takes equal amounts of times to like reach these heights, but sometimes you can write like 4 studio albums and like it'll take all 4 of those albums to get your name out there. So you never know.
It's just responsibilities that normal people or just people have to deal with. I feel like that's most people, where whatever they want to do in life, they pursue it. It doesn't work out, then they settle.
Yeah.
And then they just live that way.
Yeah. Just scared to take that risk.
But I can't. I have to prioritize. To me, my number one priority is like being decent, at least decent.
Yeah.
At comedy.
Right.
And I've been doing it long enough where like I had a couple shows where like people would tell me that I'm actually good.
Yeah.
And like people would be like, keep going, or like they would. The best compliment I ever got was from this girl after a show. She's like, "You were weird," and I liked it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, cool." That it just doing shows and stuff like that, and people telling me that like, yeah, you're actually funny. Like it keeps me going.
Big time. Yeah, and you have a lightness to your comedy, where it's like, even if you're talking about something that's like more of a serious topic, like it still has like a lighter tone to it, because I think especially in those kind of things, like people like you, like I keep going back to Cooper, but he's like the most immediate one that I can think of just as an example. Like you guys have more of a silliness to you, but in a good way, where it's like looser, and it's just more fun. And so then when people get bogged down and all these like jokes, people trying to be smart and like catch you off guard and like, oh, I didn't see that coming, and it's like look how clever I am. Like you guys can still have that factor of like the set a punch and all that, but then there's a different energy about it that is more. It's like a nice break from all of the like the people trying to be more technical, maybe who are a little more serious, like whatever. And so that's a big thing that people love to see. And so I feel like you definitely have a thing where people can kind of just anticipate that's going to be fun at the very least. And so that's it. So that is memorable. You know what I'm saying?
No, I like when the audience doesn't know if I'm serious or am I joking.
Right. Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah. Trying to figure that out is sometimes the funniest thing. Yeah. Big time.
But yeah, I generally like when it's like as soon as the first joke I gotta tell, I have to split the audience. Either you're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it at all.
Yeah, I get that. That's a solid fucking way to do it. Like, and I sometimes because I always try to start out with like new random things. Like I've never been much of the comic that goes up, and I'm trying to get used to it where I go like, hey, how's it going? How we doing? Like whatever, like a more of a ease into it kind of factor. But I tend to find myself just really liking doing the thing where you just go up and you just open with a joke, like just like try to get just one sentence out that's kind of funny. Shirley Temple went off the deep end, blah, whatever, you know. And so it's just something that it's like, all right, we're in it now. And I have your attention, whatever. So I'd say that's definitely been my approach. And but unlike you, I also use the stairs.
Oh yeah.
And so so that's that's so defining thing. It's one of those little things where they're just like, where every time you go up and you get up from the front of the stage, people are like, okay, yeah, that checks out. They're like, I think everybody like forget every week. I feel like people would forget, and then you'd hop up and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's, Mohamed does that. That's so funny. Oh, I do want to tell the story. I just thought of this. I was gonna bring it up at the beginning, but I forgot. But originally, when I was gonna have you on before, funny story about that was, yeah, on the day that we were gonna record, you had your tooth pulled.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't hear from you all day. I didn't get, and I was like, I messaged you, I was like, are we doing it? And then I was thinking it, and then you showed up with a big swollen jaw.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it makes sense. But and it was like hard to be like, what the fuck, when you like, it's like, okay, I can clearly see without you saying anything what it was, but it was just a matter of like, I mean, I guess your thumbs didn't get pulled, like whatever. You'd have texted me. That was that made me laugh so hard, especially telling Sean again when you guys did the doing the live stream ago, and he's like, "You didn't tell him," and I'm just like messaging from the podcast account. It's like, this motherfucker. No, yeah, that was great. That still makes me laugh when I think about it. It's like he was supposed to be on it, like because like in my head I was, because in my head I found myself even recently being like, because I kind of forgotten about it. I found myself being like, I gotta have Mohamed on. He's gonna think like, I was like, he's gonna think like, why would I have Sean on but not him? And I was like, wait, I tried to have him on. Like, god damn it! It's like, this isn't my fault this time. But like, because I always forget to ask people, or I like won't ask them or something, because I'll be like, well, I was gonna, but like some people are a little more. Some people I get a little more cautious, where I'm like, I'm not sure if they would, or maybe I just am like. Maybe just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe we just don't talk much, so it hasn't like come up naturally or whatever. So I was just like,
nah,
yeah,
that was my fault. I didn't know. It bothered me that day, and I didn't have an appointment. It was like more of an emergency, but yes,
yeah. Oh, it was an emergency.
Yeah.
Shit. No, I guess I didn't really ask you about what had happened. Like, what was it? Was it like like a bad root or something?
It was infected, and I had to get it pulled that day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, like you had an excuse. It was just like, it was just funny how it happened. Because but it's it's like when it's like when someone does something stupid and then they get hurt. You're kind of like, well, no, that's not even a good comparison. That's it just feels like when someone does something. And they're or like if something just happens, it's like even if it was like really important, it's like if something happens to them that they just cannot control, like getting mad at them makes no sense. Like if someone was on their way to you and then like they were following traffic laws, but then like maybe like a dude on his cell phone like T-bones them or something, it's like, yeah, they're gonna be a little late. Like they can't, like they couldn't control that guy. Like it was like they couldn't do anything. So it's just it's just. I'm not even mad. Like it was just a funny day seeing you walk in and just being like, what happened? Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyway, what were we talking about before? Shit, lost track there. Wasn't apparently the topic wasn't memorable. No. Well, shit, man, we have been going for like an hour here. Have I forgotten to ask anything about your current comedy career? How's that? You guys are still doing the gram?
Yeah. Did Sean talk about it?
Yeah, me and Sean talked about that. I'll be in the audience for the next one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. This Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yes, Mohamed, you have to be there. Yeah. Yeah, that's like, no, I'm happy. That's cool. You guys are still being able to do that since you're being in the backyard and
we got
socially distanced.
We got desperate.
Yeah,
we got real desperate.
Yeah, no, I mean I can't imagine like because like Sean was saying like he's been doing it for so long now. He was like, yeah, I was kind of more okay being able to just step away, just being able to take this break like whatever. And so I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Get some recharge time, but I think any creative with the amount of time that some have been off, or will definitely go crazy. Like, addiction is crazy, man. Like, and performing on stage is like it's like a lot of adrenaline, and it's like a lot of atmosphere, and there's like you got something. It's always something drawing you back, and you're like, so it's just it's hard to avoid.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I like that we have to be more creative. You're forced to be more creative to get people together to listen to you.
Yeah.
So that's been cool. The backyard shows we've been doing, they've been really fun. So yeah, like the Gram. I don't know if Sean said about this, but it's a game show about Instagram.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, maybe people will listen to this and not Sean's because they don't like Sean, but love you. So we have to cater to them as well.
It's funny because me and Sean are like complete opposites. Like literally, like personality, everything about us is opposites.
Nice. Well, you guys make a lot of videos. Well, you know what? I feel like that helps a lot in the writing of your guys' sketch videos. You have the opposing perspectives. Not a lot of people can allow that in their media today. But no, you guys always make funny videos, and I always see them. They always come through my feed if I happen to be scrolling through, doing what I may be doing, pooing. But no, it's great. Yeah, man. But how often are you? And you? That's still are you guys still doing them once a month?
This month might be our last, but doing it outside because the weather is gonna get bad pretty soon. So we don't know when we're gonna be back at a venue, but this Saturday is probably gonna be our last one that we do outside.
Right on, because I feel like Javas would be happy to have you back, but I also I know Sean has been skeptical about coming back to the scene, so I feel like that might not be in the cards, but yeah, but you have options, if anything.
Yeah, it's cool.
just have like Sean will be like, I'm in the basement, all of the contestants will be upstairs, or he'll be in the second floor, and they'll all be in the first floor, or whatever the fuck. Just keep it separate. But you will never see me in person. I will have monitors set up. You will see my face. I will guide you through everything. I will put it up on the screen, with the Instagram post that we're currently talking about. But this way, I will not see you, and then I have sanitation guns set up around the house, so as soon as you leave, it'll just spray fucking sanitizer around the whole house. Yeah, you got options. Right on, man. No, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, because I haven't been to one since I was on.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
I thought so too. That was a lot of fun. That's how I met Xavier and and all that. So that was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, no, but yeah. Well, I hope it's not like. I hope it doesn't just like stop forever. I hope you guys can figure something out. But I mean, I would love to be on again sometime. But other than that, you have it. I keep trying to think of what else could be going, like what else could be done. But yeah, it's hard, especially when everything is still going on, and plus the fucking bars' names are still closed, so it's like who knows who knows what's gonna happen. So they're like, where it's gonna be open, and this is like the consistent spot, which is good, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, right now it's so complicated. It's so complicated trying to be like, oh, you can do it here, do it there, you can do this, that, because a lot of it right now probably not. And capacity is always an issue and whatever, and yeah. But anyway, you may as well plug where people can find you on the internets, where they can follow you.
I literally have, the only thing I have going on is the Gram. Follow Gram Comedy Show on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, but it's gonna be pointless because I don't do anything on it. But my African _guy on Instagram. Yeah, like I'm just waiting as everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. So, okay, I did forget to ask you where you're from in Africa, actually.
I'm from South Sudan.
Nice. Right on. When did you move over here?
2005.
Oh, right on. Hell yeah. And what year were you born in?
93.
93. All right, you're 2 years older than me. Right on. I wanted to get a time frame and everything. I forgot to ask earlier. Nice, man. Well, right on. Jordan C. Comedy. They came from the underground. Check out Intelligent Idiocracy. It's me and Dustin Parsley. Yeah, Jordan C. Comedy on everything. Shit, man. Fuck. Well, if I can get my thoughts together here, keep stumbling because I feeling like I'm forgetting something. But I'm sure if I am, I'll remember tomorrow. Or whatever. But thank you so much for being on here, man. We'll end with with just one thing. Do you have any guilty pleasures in music that maybe aren't so cool to listen to, but you jam to them anyway?
Ooh, good question. Fuck.
You bumping Taylor Swift in your car when no one's looking?
I have listened to Taylor Swift, but that's not. I feel like that's not as bad. I'm trying to think of the worst. I feel like Miley Cyrus and like Taylor Swift are in the same category.
Yeah.
But Miley, she kind of like, remember when she started twerking?
Yeah. They say ever since then I've been a fan. I don't know what it is.
No, I like Disney Miley.
Disney Miley.
Yeah. Before she started twerking.
You're a fan of that. You were a fan of the more innocent Miley. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. You were. Were you real into Hannah Montana?
Yes, it's my childhood, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, one day I pictured me and her getting together, and I would have my own persona. I would be, I can't think of a word that rhymes with African. I can't think of a name that would rhyme with African, like, because I feel like that would be what the alliteration would be: Hannah Montana and African Dan. I don't know. some shit.
That's funny.
Yes. All right, guys. Ending it on a high note. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye. We love you.